you know.
Not a single one of us believes that.
Nobody bought that.
Nope.
That's my
Jim
entire
has more
collection
bottles than
that's
all of
sitting
us put
behind me.
together.
That's his entire collection that's downstairs.
Yeah, I was
That's
sick
his
of
entire
reaching around.
collection.
I was sick of reaching around my chair and getting my balls busted for that, so I just kind of changed it up a bit.
That's his whole collection that's on that piece of furniture.
I think that's the first time Jim has ever used the term reach around, but he seemed pretty comfortable with it.
He's way more comfortable with the action than the word.
Oh, yeah.
We actually live now?
Yep, we're live.
Oh, we're live. Cool.
Oh, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome to the reach around chat.
Yes, welcome to the chat. Never a dull moment.
So,
Well,
and,
hello to
what's
everybody.
everyone drinking tonight?
We did that. You
Started
missed
with
it.
some Four Roses small batch select.
That's always good.
It's not upsetting.
Um,
Aaron abused me for drinking Wellers.
No. I
OWA.
just told you you could have all of it.
no.
Yeah,
you
by the
can't,
way,
'cause-
Corey and I decided, Kyle, you need to send us all of your Buffalo Trace products.
is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's happening. Aaron and
Oh.
Aaron has volunteered to package them all and send them to us.
She is the boss. So, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say at this point. So, you're welcome, I guess.
Yeah, say you're
I
welcome.
wouldn't
That's a
do
good
that to
thing.
you.
Aaron, we can expect them by Tuesday or Wednesday?
Corey's over in California, so
Corey-
he'll probably be Thursday
Corey,
or Friday. for
we're
him.
in, buddy.
Yeah.
Takes a little longer to get over there. So, Corey, your package will be a little late. I'm sorry.
Right.
Thank you. Wheels, welcome to the chat. Hey, Chad.
What's up,
How do
Trev?
we see the chat? That's the question.
We open another screen and look at it in YouTube
Yeah, so we basically have two screens
going
on.
at all times.
All right, then I just won't watch the chat.
So it's complicated and it's not very easy, but you know.
I'll
Is it
be
on
on the
Messenger?
chat. Just use your phone for the chat, Corey.
Don't
Hey,
be
there you
so
go.
smart,
That is a
Mike.
good idea. That's what the professionals do.
I do whatever Andrew does. He's tech savvy, so what I see him doing that, that's what I do.
So I got some Knob Creek and some Four Roses and some 3-chord 12-year 1920 Traverse City
Jack Daniel's barrel proof, single barrel.
options. Help.
Yeah, I need some
Yeah.
options too.
I say you drink that because I know how much you like it.
Okay.
And it's probably a proof too, knowing me. Is there anything that's under 100 proof?
I don't think so.
Okay, there we go.
Ow.
Oh, that's always good.
Is the chat part on your Facebook page?
YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. Oh,
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you go onto YouTube and then on
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna bother.
our
No.
channel.
You can see them because they're sending you thumbs up and things, right?
On Facebook, yeah, you can see what they're
No, I
what
mean
everyone's
on your
talking about.
YouTube thing.
Or yeah, on YouTube,
Mhm.
what everyone's
Yeah.
talking about.
Yep.
Andrew's in there, obviously.
Andrew's in there. and
Andrew's
so is
digging
David.
around in his closet or something. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Reach around what?
Yeah,
What?
you guys are doing a reach around.
Andrew's in quarantine, unfortunately. He's a first responder, so he's been living in his garage.
Garage, yeah. He was there last week or 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
hasn't
it's
been
slowing
happier
down.
in his life.
I was just gonna say that. Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Nick, better be careful how much of you wish you were in a garage or something shortly.
Wish I had a garage.
If you see his bourbon collection, you wouldn't mind being in there.
Right.
You kind of look
Oh,
behind him
and
in
it-
all those cases back there. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Mhm.
What's his nickname? Captain Hoarder?
And all
No,
you
it's
have to do
Captain
if you want to
Sensitive
sample,
now.
yeah,
Yeah, who did that, by the way?
So everyone got their samples except David, right? Because we don't care about David.
Wah, wah.
Why didn't
Wah,
you get
wah.
samples?
I don't know. I shipped him out one. I'm gonna check tracking on it tomorrow.
I hate when those things happen. Me and the postal
all right.
service have been at
Okay.
war with each other.
Hey, you know what? If you order stuff in January, sometimes it gets there by May.
Especially if the coronavirus intervenes in between.
That's
I'm
right.
still
And it's
waiting on
coming
Get that,
stuff.
that non-essential stuff from Amazon doesn't get here very fast.
Dude, that Amazon stuff is killing me right now. Like I ordered stuff at the beginning of the month and I'm like, I need this.
So far, Amazon's been good to me. I ordered birthday presents for my kids.
I just ordered some birthday presents for my grandson and they came. I got
Yeah.
them tomorrow. We're doing the birthday drive-by tomorrow.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's cool.
I think Amazon's putting like priority on kids stuff as well.
I
It's not
hope so.
essential, but I think they are trying to push that out. I wasn't supposed to get Cadence and Oren's things until like the 25th, and they all came 2 days ago. So I was really excited.
That's cool.
Very. Speaking that Caden's birthday's the 26th, so I'm like, shoot.
We're bad parents.
That's not bad. When's his birthday?
Well, Oren's is the 30th and Caden's is the 26th.
Oh, hell, you're covered. You're good parents.
Yep, we got him.
You're not shopping on the 26th. You're good. Come on.
I'm late this year. Normally I have presents done by now. So
Pretty close though. But
I heard what Nick's drinking. Nick's got,
small batch select,
Yep.
I think.
and I know off air we
Yep.
talked about what everyone was drinking, but what is everyone? Jim, what are you drinking?
I was drinking the Eagle Rare store pick. It's really nice, but I just poured the sample.
Oh, there we go.
Nice. No, of course, knowing Jim, he's already gotten into it.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, Jim's not like that.
No, Jim wouldn't do that. He just finished it on Monday, and he's just going back off memory.
Yeah, I poured Eagle Rare into this little sample bottle.
Just to make it look good.
What did you grab? What you sent them? Is it hidden somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Up there is a bottle that says number 4 on it.
Perfect. I get to have a sample, you guys, because I don't pour the bottles.
Chad Holly said, I got my probiotics in one day. Luckily, pooping is essential.
Yep.
But there is 4 on the lid. I was
4.
looking on the outside of the bottle, not the top.
4.
Short people can't.
It's probably David's sample.
That really looks, yeah, it's David's sample. That's right. Aaron, you got
Yeah,
David.
that's-
You're going to have to just tell him how good it is.
It's got
That's all
David's
right.
name on it. It's right there.
No. you're
Wait, it's the
such a
right
jerk.
color.
You're
David
making-
knows we love
now
him.
David
Wouldn't
will know how I
sample.
felt last time.
David
It's all
knows
right.
we love him.
Hey, at least I'm in the right tier to do so, right,
Isn't
Nick?
it?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
You don't want to say
Hey,
No, I
Nick,
do.
and if you ever want to sample Nick's bourbon, just offer to do some work at his house. It's not a big
Right.
deal.
Just come do some construction and help your
Drywalling.
fucking self.
Just when you finish the bottle, make sure you leave it in the front yard.
Yeah.
It
No,
needs to
Yeah,
be-
toss it into the tree line to where I don't find it until I'm mowing.
Hey, Nick, I hear it's good to get a lot of property. It's that way you can, play
Spend
the.
8.5 hours mowing.
Hide hundreds of bottles that other people have finished.
Absolutely.
Right now, your picture's frozen with your mouth hanging wide open. That was awesome.
Here,
It's
Me or
it's
Nick?
6 meg internet. I'm doing the best I can.
As long as it doesn't make that funny buzzing sound, everything's good.
ADHD says hi. Hello, ADHD.
What's up, Matt?
Welcome, Matt.
Chip, is that one of those Norland glasses?
Yes.
How
My
do you
kids
like
got them for me for Christmas last year.
Nice.
And I have good children. My kids are great to me. My son-in-law in California sends me Weller. My kids here in Florida bought me 4 of the Norland glasses and a bottle of Redbreast and a bottle of Redbreast 12 to go
Nice.
with them for Christmas this year. So I have 2 New Orleans at home and 2 New Orleans at the place up at the lake. So
That's
it
awesome.
makes it nice. And then my brother just sit there. My brother and I sit there and drink all night. So it's a good thing.
Ooh.
Does Aaron like you?
Yeah.
What do you guys think on the nose?
I don't like the nose.
We sampling
I
already?
didn't care a whole lot.
Oh, wait,
for
are
the
we
nose
sampling
either.
already?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Jim poured his.
So
I think
I poured
poured
mine 'cause
his.
I'm following
Andrew
suit.
just poured his. I saw him do it.
Clearly,
Hey,
Jim, always premature.
I poured mine 20 minutes ago. Just let it open up.
Kyle, this
gotta-
this Russell's Reserve single barrel is fantastic. I got to tell you.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. I'm really glad you like it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like it's opened up quite a bit as it sat. So I think hopefully it'll do the same for you guys, because I was the same way. At first, it was just nothing bad, but nothing great. But it seems to be opening up for me.
Well, why don't we circle back around in 5 or 10 minutes?
Sure.
If a bunch of
All
people
right.
just poured theirs.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll let mine breathe. Go back to my 4 roses.
Yeah, good idea.
You enjoy that Four Roses, Nick.
It's got
I
nice
am.
color on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle,
I
I,
like
I
the
have
color.
a question.
What's up?
So I'm looking at the back of my Four Roses, or my Four Roses. God, Nick said Four Roses. That's where my mind was.
I
At least I
understand.
didn't call Aaron Heather. But
Not yet.
no,
The night is so young.
I haven't drank enough yet. So I'm seeing here on the back of the Russell's barrel that it was distilled on 12/31/09, dumped on 8/13/19, and then bottled on 8/28/19. Do they have specific, like, how do they? I assume they have like storage tanks that they store
Yeah,
these.
they just throw
individual
everyone's
barrels.
private barrels into one giant vat, and
That
just
makes
bottle it.
sense.
No, I've
I
actually
mean-
wondered that about those. A lot of them were like a month to 2 months away, apart
Yeah,
from each other.
I saw that and I'm like, that seems like that could get confusing like real quick.
I mean, it would make sense if they pulled the barrel, but I know some of like Heaven Hill will put them into like food grade 55-gallon
Stainless
drums.
tank.
Gallon drums. Yeah.
Are we going to implement
Hey,
what we were talking about? starting
Chad,
today?
$10 is not enough to buy everyone a shot.
But
It
it is
is
enough
when
to
you're
buy.
at home.
I will drink to that though. Thank you, Chad.
It is for me.
Cheers, Chad.
Jim, that was the sample.
No,
No, it's just something I wondered, Kyle. That's all. I don't know how they store them.
No, I know like Heaven Hill has like the blue, food grade.
They do the food grades at Heaven Hill. Yeah.
Yeah,
The big blue 55-gallon drums.
What happened
which
to my
I mean,
bottle?
kind of makes sense because I know
Okay.
like when we got our Heaven Hill barrel, or the pick that I went on, not our barrel, it was like 9 or 10 months before we actually got. Well, they
Check
lost the
your phone.
barrel for a while, but
Yeah, they take a long time.
yeah. So if
Wow.
they're really backed up, then they don't necessarily like you pick that barrel for a reason. They don't want it sitting around for another 6 months and change flavor. So
No, but they got to work you in for bottling. So
yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Like during this whole coronavirus thing, they're not doing barrel picks, but a lot of them are still distilling and barreling and bottling. So hopefully, a lot of distillers can get caught up on their single barrel programs.
So Chad says that Jim is the only one with balls. I'd also argue that he's the only one without brains.
I mean,
Fair.
I'm probably not far off. So, but
if I knew what that meant, I would agree with you, Corey.
I know. I'm like the puppy in the store. I'm going, huh?
he's got balls.
No, that
but
would be
he's got brains.
if you were older, you'd call it the RCA dog.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
So I'm really upset right now. I've been drinking. I took 2 or 3 sips of. I usually love the Larceny barrel proof. I took 2 or 3 sips, and all I'm getting is like astringent, nasty flavors. I did finish off Kyle's birthday cake just a minute ago. Oh, by the way, I finished off your birthday cake.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Actually, I took half of it.
Well, that's why you're getting the astringent flavors, because you've killed all your sweet taste buds.
Overloaded them.
You've overloaded them.
Cake. I mean,
actually, chocolate cake. Yeah.
There you go. Just keep drinking. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. I poured myself some Booker's instead, and I'll leave that for a couple minutes.
Which Booker's are you drinking, Aaron?
Anybody else getting a lot of ethanol?
Which Booker's are you drinking?
The one
Beaten Biscuits.
Beaten Biscuits is the one I grabbed.
I've got something barbecue. I found a bottle.
Backyard barbecue.
Backyard barbecue?
Backyard barbecue.
Yeah, the 02 2018. That's the best.
Is it?
Count yourself
cool.
lucky.
I stole it too. It was $49.
Oh yeah.
You did.
Oh,
Definitely
wow.
got a bargain.
Damn.
You could have bought a case.
They only had a bottle. I would have bought a case. They only had a bottle.
What do you think of it?
That's the
I haven't
bottle to
tried
get.
it yet.
You
It's sitting
should.
here.
It's good.
That is my favorite Booker's.
I don't, like I told Kyle yesterday, I don't have backup. Therefore, I'm not opening it till I have backup. Even if it's another burger, even if it's another Booker's, as long as I have backup, I'll open a bottle.
I gotcha. No, that is my absolute favorite Booker's.
My problem is if I get something that I like and I don't have backup, I'm pissed when it's gone. I have a nephew who is quite the scrounger when it comes to getting stuff at or near retail, and I gave him a task of finding another 2 bottles of that, 2 bottles of Stag Junior, and an Old Fitzgerald for me.
Nice.
And I will assure you that by next week I'll have all 5 bottles, I'm sure, at real close to retail, because I don't know how he does it. This is the kid that gets the first parking place in front of the restaurant every time you go to. So
every time.
I'm not kind of every time. We let him drive because he gets the best parking places.
See, and then you got people like me who always end up in the last place with the broken bottle or whatever. So he got all of my good luck. So congratulations.
Yes. I didn't get any of it. I just call him.
Chippy's got a guy.
I got a guy.
Having someone in your life with good luck.
Doesn't matter.
I got a guy. He's up in the DC area, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how they do it up there, but he does it. Between Maryland, Virginia, and DC, they seem to have some kind of hookup up there, even though the Virginia thing is all state store stuff.
You're not drinking our.
Yeah, it's all in the Maryland area, that DC Maryland area. They got to make sure that the politicians are well greased.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sure that's the case.
Someone say circle jerks?
Isn't that what the Jack Rose is for?
This taste is very familiar, and I just can't put a finger on this thing.
All right, so are we tasting samples now?
So what do you guys think on the nose?
Mine's got a lot of ethanol.
Yeah, yep. A lot of heat.
I get a lot of caramel out of it though too.
Yeah, I'm getting like buttery caramel.
I get caramel
sort of in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely
caramel.
There's definitely caramel there, but
it's definitely caramel. It's caramel.
But there's ethanol.
Yeah, there's a lot of ethanol.
A little dusty as well.
So maybe someone a little
Trying
more.
to see on the afterburn what there is.
Yeah, it's burning my nose.
Make Corey's eyes water.
It does.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, I know.
It is.
Yeah.
It's only 172 proof, so.
This is not 172.
If it were 172 proof, the hair on your chin would have been falling out by now.
It went into the barrel
at
at 85 proof.
Oh,
Came out at 172.
Yeah.
We got some Everclear downstairs we've been making hand sanitizer out of.
This stuff is ethanol forward.
On the nose or the palate or both?
On the nose. I haven't tasted it yet.
not on the palate.
I do get
once you taste it, the ethanol goes away.
For me, the finish has been real hot.
Yes. Back of the tongue hot.
Yeah.
Only slightly though. I mean, this is awesome.
No, it's not bad. It's good.
It's
I know
really
this
good.
flavor. I don't know why I know it, but I know this flavor. I've had
A
this.
lot of sweet.
You probably do.
Probably do if you like Jim Beam products.
Jim thinks it's Jim Beam.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
What does the Beam say? The Beam person.
Well, I was just drinking Booker's, and I was like, "This is very."
This doesn't taste as
Booker-esque.
hot as it smells.
No, it definitely doesn't taste as hot as it smells.
No.
Mm-mm.
I guess
The
somewhere
other thing
around,
is I warmed up with something a little hot, and that helped.
I'd guess somewhere around 110.
I think it's a
Proof?
little bit higher than that.
105 to 110.
I think it's
Oh,
one
I'm
twenty.
like
I think it's north of that.
115, 120.
It's more like an Old Forester's 1920 to me in the back of the tongue.
Mike, what do you think the proof
I don't
is?
think it's-
About 115 to 120.
That's
I
what
think
that's
it's
what I think too, Mike.
What do you think,
Kyle,
David?
can I guess the proof?
Sure.
It's really fun actually knowing what it is.
Oh, so you know what it is. So Kyle told you.
He said, "I'm not going to send you any, but I'll tell you what it is."
I'm gonna go in that 110, 120 range. Just gonna guess.
I'm guessing it's more closer to 120 than 110. It's got some proof on it.
But it's got the color though.
Yeah.
Andrew, what did you say?
I should have said the 80 to 90 range. Really fuck with you. It's not.
Andrew,
It's
is
80
your-
proof.
Is
It
your
drinks like
audio
it's,
on?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, there you go.
Jim's usually the one on the like spot on the proof.
It definitely is a little ethanol-y. I'd say 108.2.
Can you tell
Andrew?
us? Can you tell us where in the Rick house they held it?
No.
Chad in the chat
Did
says
the
that
cats
the
come
highest
by
proof.
and piss on the barrel?
What do you think, Andrew?
I think it's great. Really well balanced.
It
Does
really
anyone
is.
not like it?
Oh, I like it.
So
I'm not
what
in love
what
with it.
flavors are you guys getting?
Getting an awful lot of oak and a little bit of vanilla on the back of my tongue.
Get a lot of sweetness off of it.
Mm-hmm. Sweet at the end.
Yeah. For me up front, there seems to be a lot of like barrel char.
It's very drying.
Yeah.
I got the
it
barrel
is
jar on the
right.
first sip, and then that went away.
Yeah,
that's
it's not nearly as strong now, but it's still there.
I get some sweet oak.
I'm not in love with it.
Like a caramel corn.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I'd go with that
Mhm.
one.
I could go that way too.
It is drying my palate though, so that makes me think it might be a little more proofy than 108.
It has a dry.
I'm thinking more
finish,
like 115
dry
at
tannin
least.
finish.
It's actually pretty close.
You guys think it's got some age on it?
Maybe
Not
4 or 5
any
years.
more than about 8 or I can't imagine it being more than 8 or 9 years old.
I'm thinking 5 to 6.
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at with it.
Yep.
Who's saying 5 to 6?
Corey.
Corey and Jim.
Yeah.
Corey and Mike.
I was thinking like a
It's-
7 or
I
8
said
year because it
4
almost
to
has kind
5.
of an Ezra bite to it.
Get like some tobacco on there too, like pipe
I was
tobacco.
gonna say that. I get
I like
tobacco-y,
that.
leathery.
Yeah, me
I
too.
like that.
Does Aaron like it?
I don't hate it.
She
I
said
don't
she
think
did.
it's a start. I don't think it would enter my top like 20, but I think my
I'd say-
taste buds are off tonight. I think I want
I'd
to.
pay 45.
You pay 45 for it?
Yeah.
Ouch! I'm higher than that.
That's funny because I was going to say 40 to 50. So
I
Yeah,
was
I'd pay
gonna say
45
60.
plus tax.
I mean,
All right,
the question
guys.
is, would you stand in line for it?
No.
No.
Jim
definitely
is the
not.
baller of the group. Jim, how much would you pay for it?
I don't know. I like it. I'd stand in line for a while for it. It's a bit unique. I'd be happy with $50, no problem. Probably go 60,
So that's where I'm at.
maybe a little more.
Where you at, Mike?
I was gonna say $70.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Wow.
I like
Mikey-
it.
Mikey likes
Oh, I mean,
it.
My lips are numb. When my lips go numb, I like it.
Actually, Mike, now that you say that, mine are
So do
starting to
I,
do that
Mike.
same thing.
Cheers to Adam.
Adam just sent in a super chat.
Cheers.
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 Don't break the glass, Kyle. Hey, did we switch
Flying
places?
Jack.
Like the laptop died. You're cracking glasses. Kyle's having Aaron syndromes tonight.
Dreaming.
Is that the sample?
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
You know, once the ethanol goes away, you do get even on the nose, you get a caramel, and then you get that barrel char in it. Once the ethanol really, you get the
Yeah.
barrel char and a caramel on the nose, and you get that caramel when you taste it, like the caramel corn thing you were talking about.
Totally.
I'm like 40, 45 on it. I'm not.
I will
not
tell you, it is
looking.
definitely
Butter.
not Jim Beam.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a $50 to $60 bottle of liquor, I'm sure.
I'm in it at 60. Now, what is it?
You guys are a tough crowd, man.
Man, this
Yeah.
is
I mean,
a tough
Why
crowd,
did you
Kyle.
did you overspend?
Every time
I'm sorry,
every time I
man.
send you like Weller foolproof, I need like I would give like $25 for
No,
this.
that's not true. The Weller foolproof was great.
No, that's great. That's only Mike that would say that.
I am right there with you, Mike.
I like that
Sorry,
one.
I'm sorry I wasn't on board and missed that one. That I haven't tried foolproof yet. I can't bring myself to spend $150 or $60 for a $65 bottle.
Where
of
are
liquor.
you? I'll take it for 160 or 165 because it's 450 out here.
Bitch,
Oh,
you
oh,
said
you're
you
in
wouldn't pay
California,
more than
aren't you? I'm
50
sorry,
bucks for it, Corey.
Corey, where in
Corey
California
likes
are
it
you?
now.
I just lost.
Corey, where in California are you?
Bay Area.
Bay Area. My kids live in Morgan Hills, so I know exactly what you. Yeah, it's ugly out there.
This is one of those bottles you kind of have to have a hookup for it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I finished off a bottle last week or week before, but I got another one, so I'll
If you tell me this is Rebel Yell 100, I'm going to beat you.
No.
no.
No, it's the regular Rebel Yell like bottom shelf.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, who said it was the youngest? Corey and
I
Corey,
said
and
4 to 5 years.
I was at 7 to 8 years.
Jim agreed.
Yeah.
what if I told you there was some 21 year in it?
Wow.
Really?
Not getting that.
Nope.
Holy crap. Are you kidding?
Really?
Yep.
Mm-mm.
2019 Four Roses limited
Oh.
edition.
Yeah. I always thought that stuff sucked.
Really?
Yep.
Now it makes sense.
Wow.
I'm real bothered by that.
Yeah, you should be, Nick.
Okay, Nick, you're drinking the Four Roses Select right now, right? You were drinking that before?
Yeah.
I am bothered by that.
I also was at the distillery with Kyle for the bottle release and spent $150 on that bottle I just said I'd pay 45 for.
You're
And you loved
welcome.
it.
I love that.
That's
Damn
that's
it, I
fucking
hate that
Before,
when
insane.
before you were
happens.
blinded with it, though, you were happy about that.
Right.
Was that the one that I slept in the trunk most of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember you being there, Nick, but that's because I wasn't there. I slept in my trunk.
Better than sleeping in the gutter.
It's true.
Done that too.
It
Hey,
was,
Nick, you wanna-
it was a bit cold.
Nick, you want to
So-
sell your bottle now for $45 to me?
I'll tell you what. I'm not telling Heather what this
No.
is.
Nope.
You gonna blind her with it?
No, I'm just going to drink hers.
You said you'd only pay $45 for it.
I did.
It can't be that good.
It's not.
Shouldn't I be the one drinking that, by the way?
Do what?
Shouldn't I be the one drinking her sample?
Has she paid dues recently?
That just did not taste like a Four Roses product to me.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I've never had a Four Roses product that ever tasted like that.
I've also never had a Four Roses product hit me in the face that hard just smelling it.
What was the proof on that?
But yeah, what is the
Totally-
proof on that, Kyle?
The proof is 56.3, so 112.6.
I always said 115. That's what we thought. Mike, didn't you say it was hot too?
I said 115, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty close.
because it came off to me like Old Forester, kind of that same kind of thing with Old Forester's 1920 stuff. That
Roger said we all
115
look like
proof.
the bourbon bunch.
So I had a glass of my bottle of 2019 like 2 days ago, and it did not hit me with ethanol on the nose as hard as this one did for some
How long has
reason.
this bottle been open? Well, obviously it's almost gone. So, but you did do a bunch of samples.
Well, it couldn't be more than November when they
Okay,
released
so it. I was just
Yeah.
wondering how long it's been open and if it's.
Not that long.
I was
Hey,
wondering if
6
it was
months,
green
when you
maybe.
got it
all the
home,
way
Kyle?
around, not-
To all you people out there that haven't lifted your Patreon level, this is the kind of samples you can get.
Right.
Yep, once a year.
Wait a minute. Does that mean we get Beam and we get Old Ezra and we get Evan Williams?
I
for the
mean,
rest of the year?
already this year I've had
Damn
full
it.
proof and Four Roses limited edition. So, you know,
All right. Well, next week is Jim Beam Black Label. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, good.
You know what,
We're gonna
though?
step
I'd be
up
okay
to
with
some,
that.
It wouldn't break my heart either. That's some of the best mixing liquor I've ever had.
step
I hate
up
to
to
tell
some
you.
Four Roses yellow label.
Yeah.
I was talking with someone this morning. I was like, because we were talking about really cheap bourbons, and I was like, it was actually, or no, not Roger's in the chat, not Donnie.
Hey, Roger.
Cheap bourbon, good bourbon, like, you know, say Jim Beam or Evan Williams, something like that, right? Like stuff that's not terrible, like, you know.
Yeah, good
It's-
stuff that's got a good mill.
It's very simple, but it is usually like your typical textbook bourbon. You know what I mean?
But also, it typically will hit all those notes that you typically in your brain think of as bourbon.
Right.
So
Yes.
textbook.
It's your dad's bourbon. It's the shit you drank when you were 14 in his liquor cabinet.
I'm sorry, was there an asshole that said something? I couldn't hear it. One more time?
It queefed.
Love you, Jim.
Did that really just come out of your mouth?
That was Nick.
That was not Nick.
It
Nick
could have
would
been
say it, though.
It might have been Nick.
It might have been Nick.
No, Nick would be the one to do it. He wouldn't be the one to say it.
I would say that I did it.
Whoever it was has a terribly sensitive microphone.
One thing I gotta say from blinding you guys, whatever price I give on the show, just divide it by 3. Okay.
Divided by 3.
Yeah, we always do that.
All these assholes.
Yeah, we
Either that
are.
or you guys should just keep drinking cheap bourbon because
We probably should for as good as we are at this.
This is not an easy game. I'm just saying.
it's really not.
Oh,
It's really not.
I get excited when I'm even close.
Put it this way. We've all witnessed Kyle drinking his favorite bourbon ever, and deciding it was probably one of the worst things he's tasted.
That was the best.
That was a thing.
I was there for that. It was fantastic. Just watching his heart just completely
His
sink into his
face
chest.
just,
there may have been memes made with that. Maybe.
there may have been.
Literally, it felt like somebody ran over my puppy. Like my soul was demolished. Like
I may have those memes somewhere.
Yeah, this is not an easy game to play. And
As I remember, David called me and he's like, have you watched the newest episode? I said, no. He goes, you might want to watch this. You might want to watch this.
He just
was,
crucified himself.
it's made worse. It's made worse by the fact that there's all these influencers. I mean, there's whatever you ate for the day. There's whatever mood you're in for the day. That's why I hate
you
doing
drink.
or that. That's why I hate doing all these samples at once.
Because I will tell you, there is an episode that we recorded that I have not released where Nick was on here with me, and we had enough to drink beforehand, and it was that we did like four of them that night, and we did like a bunch of double like side by side blinds, and we're drinking before that. How much was you? I give like $300 for this bottle. This shit is the best stuff ever. It's delicious. What is it?
Dang.
It's Dickel bottled and bond.
You have to release that, Kyle. You have to release this.
You should at least release it to your Patreon members.
Patreon only.
Yeah, I really want to watch that again, because being there for that, we were comfortably toasted. Thanks to Aaron.
Understatement.
Like
They
3
had a-
back-to-back like Battle of the Bourbons episodes, and I was like,
had a
"You
couple
fucking
Battle of the
kidding me?"
Bourbons, and I was nice. I didn't even give you the third. I was gonna do 3 battle. I think I was gonna do 4 Battle of the Bourbons, and I think
And I
both
told you I was
people
like, "No, none."
No, you're gonna hurt him.
Like, I am hammered.
you guys are smashed. I remember that one. I just went, oh
It's
god,
your
this
fault. And she poured 4 full, like 4.
They were
full
not full.
pours.
They're the
They
same
were-
amount. I
They were
always
pours.
pour.
They were the regular level of pour, but twice as much.
Nobody says you
And-
have to finish it.
And we were drinking before we started,
Yeah,
too.
you guys had quite a bit before you guys started.
Oh, I don't
we were
believe
2 or
that.
3 drinks in before we started recording, and it just things went south. Things happened.
Hashtag Aaron pour.
The sample didn't taste like it tastes from the bottle.
It doesn't. I agree with that, because
It tastes
from
less complex in the sense. It just tastes less spicy. Like there's no rye spice.
Needs a sticker.
That's true, Andrew. There wasn't any rye spice in that sample.
There wasn't.
Uh-uh.
At least not
A lot of
very much.
ethanol, but not any rye spice. You got the zip, but it wasn't that spicy
Yeah.
zip.
I got straight corn. I didn't get. Yeah, it doesn't really taste alike.
Andrew, which one is that?
2019.
He sent us
So what
some
you
Jim
gave it-
Beam and just told it was the Four Roses.
Yeah.
Right?
He drank the
That's
bottle of Four Roses before the show, and he just said, "Yeah, well,
Hey,
no, that's
Did you see what you guys did to my bottle?
Yeah.
It'll be
You've been
fine.
drinking all afternoon, haven't you?"
I tell you what, for Kyle to be toasted, that's saying something.
It can happen.
Well, thank you.
Those of
Well,
us with
thank you
the
for the
body
sample.
mass can handle this.
So in the chat, Eric says that there are 8 whiskey lives going on right now. We appreciate all y'all that popped in and are hanging out with us. I know some of y'all are catching multiple lives, but we really do appreciate all of your support and coming in and saying hey.
okay.
Elixir said, Tarak over at Elixir said it needs a sticker, comfortably toasted.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Maybe that's the sticker we need to have on our.
I will
bottle
say
cap.
there's a lot of stickers out there, and a lot of them suck. Tarek's sticker game is freaking on point.
It is.
But I will say, being on some of his picks, he actually spends like a month or two like perfecting the sticker over time. So
We're gonna be traveling
So
through
at-
Nashville here soon. I'm stopping in at Elixir, no doubt about it.
You need
You'll
to.
leave drunk 4 hours later than you planned.
I told him, I said, make sure you have time and make sure your wife can drive you home.
We're driving. Afterward, I'm going to be like, we're driving to Florida. We're going to see Jim. Or
You mean
Chip,
David's
or-
napping to Florida and his
I live in
wife's
Florida.
driving.
It's okay, David.
Hey, I'm only an
I'm
hour
in Florida.
south
Jim's
of,
in- Jim's
of
in
Elixir.
Virginia.
Just saying.
Just turn left when you get to,
Oh, you're
when you
gonna-
get to Atlanta.
That's right.
So out of curiosity, I'm pouring out of my 2019 Four Roses.
See if you and Andrew have
Because-
the same thing to say. Get pizza ahead of time. Yes.
Get pizza with pineapple.
Yes.
That's right.
Pineapple.
Because Andrew's in
straight.
California. That's Andrew and Corey are in California. They're allowed to eat pineapple on their pizza.
Yeah. For us here that are from the Midwest, we eat sausage, pepperoni, cheese, tomato sauce, normal shit. Not pepperoni, not any of that shit. Kyle's from the West Coast.
Pineapple?
It's okay.
I went to Chicago and got some pizza, and I was informed that pizza store does not carry a pineapple in the store.
No,
Yeah.
they don't. Where were you?
Well,
Uno? Pizza
Lou
Uno.
Malnati's.
Malnati's, yeah, they don't either.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we don't have that here. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You'll be
I did
swimming with the
inform
fishes
Kyle
in
that-
Chicago trying that shit.
No, I told Kyle that if Blue Malnati's doesn't have it, it doesn't belong on pizza.
No.
Yes.
That's absolutely correct, Nick.
You're right.
No, pineapple always belongs on pizza. You can keep your pepperoni.
Hey, when we do the Bourbon Blind get together, I'm just letting you know, every fucking pizza I order is going to have double pineapple on it.
I'm good with that.
I'm not
won't
too
have
proud
to
to
share.
pick pineapple
I'll
off.
be there.
As long as
We'll
it
just
also
take-
has
we'll just take
jalapenos on
2
it.
bottles of like early times to his hands, and we'll let him go. When he's done with those, then we'll get him pizza.
Hey guys, I gotta go. Love you all.
What?
Bye,
Bye,
Corey.
Corey.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Corey.
joining
Corey.
us.
Hi, Corey.
Well, you got to go to dinner?
Yeah.
Enjoy the pie in the oven.
Cheers.
Where the
Cheers,
hell
bud.
did he go? That's not
We
okay.
go to dinner.
It's like 4:00 in the afternoon over there. He's just
Yeah. They got to catch the senior special. He is going to be 50 after all.
Damn.
Hey,
Chad's asking if we have a new date for the get together. We are not sticking with the original. We will be in touch. We're working with our partners and what we were planning on doing and the places we're planning on going to reschedule. I believe we have a chat going for everyone who is confirmed.
yes.
Yeah,
We'll
Yeah,
talk
make sure you cancel your hotel if you
if you
get
haven't
that
already.
Yes.
yeah.
we canceled all of our stuff. We were going to go. We were leaving the 13th, I think, of May. Everything's canceled off. We did get refunds on all of our airplane rides, though, which was pretty cool.
That's good.
That's good.
No,
I had
no
a
arguments.
voucher.
Southwest canceled everything. A matter of fact, I saw him on my American Express bill today.
I need
They
to actually
they
call
gave me the money
Southwest.
back.
I have vouchers right now that expire July 5th, and they've been adamant that they are not extending it. But this was before all of this drama happened. So I'm hoping that they'll extend it another 3 weeks is all I'm asking to make it so that we can use some plane tickets.
Southwest is phenomenal. They we have Companion Pass because we earned it last year, and they extended it from the end of this year until June 30th of next year. I mean, they're phenomenal. In what
I
they
have,
do.
I
I
have
think-
choice
I think
words
they've
for them
done that
right
with
now,
all of
so
them.
we're not going to go there with
Yeah.
me and Southwest. I've been on multiple phone calls with them trying to make something work. From buying plane tickets last July 5th, and I had a year to use them, and we haven't been able to go anywhere. And they're like, "Too bad, we're keeping your money. You don't get anything back." And I'm like, So we'll
Well, you
see.
got
also said
something
you
to
hadn't
do
talked
for
to him
Oc-
since
for
all this stuff
October.
started going down.
What?
You also said you hadn't started talking to him again since all this stuff
No,
started
last
going
time I talked to
down.
him was the end of February.
Right. That was
No.
before they saw that huge drop off in flights.
Right.
A lot
Cheers,
of things
Corey.
have changed since then.
Oh,
Yep.
Corey just super
Corey
chat
sent a
us,
super
so
chat.
cheers.
Cheers to Corey.
Cheers.
Cheers, Corey.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah,
I will
thanks,
say
Corey.
that-
I got old Carter in here now. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, there you go. Oh, man. There's no way I would do that to old Carter.
I just did it with the
I-
Four
I will
Roses,
say that
but you guys all hated
Fresh
it.
out of my bottle, that 2019 Four Roses tastes nothing like the sample.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's probably because it's Jim Beam White Label.
Why do you think it's off camera, David? Of course it's Jim Beam White Label.
Hi, Robot
That's
Scott.
all
How
I
you
have
doing
is just a
tonight?
collection of Jim Beam White Label bottles. I have nothing else.
That's actually all I have in my entire collection is Jim Beam White Label.
At least you have a collection.
Yeah.
Unless
So
I
what
like
do-
to church it up,
what
then
do
I
we-
unlock the closet and grab the black label out.
Oh,
Those are for fancy evenings, special
What are we
occasions.
drinking next? What
yeah.
are we drinking
That's
next?
that's for when you're having work done at your house. You break out the black label.
I leave that locked up for work at the house now.
Learned his lesson.
$600 later.
Tarak, I'll get pizza ahead of time before I visit Elixir.
There's a great pizza by the slice place in that right next door.
Yeah. So
that's
just
not
go next
fair.
door. Go next door and eat. Go drink. Go back next door and eat some more.
Eat some more.
Go back and drink some more, and then continue your drive.
Is it like the New York slice place?
Kind of actually.
Oh, it's awesome.
I only went there once. I've been going to Elixir for years and never knew that there was a pizza place next door till like 2 months ago.
You could have used that a couple
You should have
too.
known that. Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
We could use that before we drove to Chicago last time. Stopped off at Tarak's and got blitzed. He's like, oh, you got to try this. Oh, you got to try this. Oh, you got to try this. And you're just like, okay, fine.
Well, see, the key is he says, you got to try this. And you go, fuck, all right, give me one of those too.
See, you just have to go in after being completely obliterated the night before with your healthy hangover rolling. And I promise you, you're not going to drink a whole lot.
You spend too much time in his store and you're going to leave with a hell of a hangover.
Well, he also wasn't there when we were there, so that also helped.
Oh, he said that pizza place is closed on Mondays. So just, FYI, David.
It's all right.
Because
We'll
evidently Mondays are days to close a restaurant.
Only
Yeah,
in
because they
Tennessee.
stay open on Sundays.
No, they don't even do
Yeah,
that
because
either.
God forbid a
They
restaurant
don't
be
do
open
it at
7
all
days.
any place anymore.
Out west, they do. Out west, everything's open 24/7.
Oh, listen, my little Thai place was open tonight. I thank God for that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, we wish we had Thai in this town. Or,
We don't even have Chinese right now.
nope, we can't even get Chinese.
Or
Japanese.
McDonald's.
Or McDonald's. Yeah, we don't even have McDonald's right now.
Or Burger
You need to
King because
move.
it's no longer a Walmart.
Right? I hear we're getting a Wendy's though, so there is that.
Well,
Fingers
you know what?
crossed. I do like Wendy's.
I do too.
It's probably my favorite fast food.
No,
Yeah.
In-N-Out
If
is
you're
my
a
favorite
trucker,
fast
just-
food.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I take it you
No,
guys don't have a
Wendy's is
Five
better.
Guys someplace.
We do in
I'm
Huntsville,
there.
but not in our town.
hour 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
I would love a Five Guys.
Oh,
I would probably be about 30 pounds heavier, but it tastes good. So there's
oh
that.
boy, does it ever.
Yep. The
But you guys
Cajun
have
fries.
chicken salad chick though, I'll bet. No?
No,
No,
You're
I
that
live in a
close
town
to
of
Huntsville?
5,000.
Yeah, but still you live that close to Huntsville.
45 minutes.
I know. I'm aware.
Yeah, no, I'm
We
just
see
saying.
We see it from a distance, but we see it.
She started in Huntsville.
there is a new barbecue joint in town. Roger just mentioned that.
Rick's.
Rick's.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rick's, and it's
Good.
all right. It's
fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good.
fine,
It's not
yeah.
upsetting. It's not anything that I would definitely be like, oh, you have to stop there on your way through Fayetteville.
right. No,
Now, if dude with the barbecue trailer, you definitely have to stop there because his
If he
stuff's
shows up.
fantastic.
He's
Those
the-
are
hey,
always
hey,
the
if there's
guys.
a guy with a guy, I mean, at least he's got a food truck and he's like, it's not a business. I mean, it is a business, but it's a food truck.
Nick, you should
can-
write the marketing campaign for this barbecue place. It's not upsetting.
Yeah.
it's
Rick's barbecue.
It'd
is
play
not
well in
offensive.
Sussex, England.
Yeah.
Rick's barbecue. We have barbecue.
Rick's barbecue. It sure is.
There he is.
Yes, I wish we had a good Cajun restaurant too. But then again, I have my kitchen. I just wish I could get crawfish. That weren't
What?
from China.
You gotta be
You
kidding
can.
me.
They're just called crawdaddies.
You
Yeah.
live in a desert.
And what's sad is like this, all the streams and rivers and stuff around us are full of them. Full.
So put a
And-
I
trap
have
Well,
out.
yet to
catch
see
some.
any.
You can't get anything fresh. You can get frozen, but no fresh.
So go catch some.
Yeah.
I
Go
would
put
do
a trap
that,
out.
except I have yet to see them.
Joe can
They're
share.
everywhere.
Those
Just go
are
to the
traps
elk
out for
and
we
just
put, we
stand
put
there.
traps out for blue crabs all the time.
I love blue crab. That's the best.
You know what you should do is just go get a big old bucket full of them and put them in that stream right next to our house.
And then they'll get washed away.
No, some of them will still be there.
No, they won't.
Okay.
Anyway.
So is there anything coming out this year that you guys are looking forward to?
Outside again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congregating with more than 3 people.
Going
I
to
was thinking
restaurants.
bourbon related, but yes, that's the obvious answer.
I
Chinese
doubt
all-you-can-eat buffets.
I doubt this group will say the Four Roses limited edition.
No, I'm
Really
intrigued to
like
see
going
what the
up
Safe
to
2020
bet,
is.
David.
limited edition.
I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
I like it.
The
I liked it
problem
too.
is Mike hated the Weller Full Proof and loved the Four Roses limited edition. This is interesting.
At least you
Buffalo
like
Trace
something I said.
overrated. Overrated.
like full proof.
Overrated.
I think
Except
I'll
the
tell you what's
BTEC, that's good.
I'll tell you what's overrated. From the Ultimate Brown Foreman fan, this Jack Daniels Heritage. This is shit. This is complete shit.
That isn't the one that's like 800 proof, is it?
No, this is 100 proof. It's the Heritage barrel.
Oh, I
every-
think I had
I- all I-
it still right.
All I heard was how good it was, and apparently Kyle got a different single barrel than I did because he got a really good bottle, and I don't like mine. I like the regular Jack Daniel's single barrel and barrel proof edition, but not this.
Didn't
my
David,
bottle come from you?
is that the barrel proof you're talking about? Is that the real hot one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's about 130, 132 proof usually. 134
Yes,
proof.
I actually bought a bottle of it, had a neck pour from it, and didn't like it, and actually tasted it 2 days ago
Mhm.
after having let it sit for like 2 months,
Yeah.
and it was actually really good.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Their single barrel program is the most underrated single barrel program out there. I love their single barrel stuff, but this Heritage barrel that they do, it's not. My
But is
single
it
barrel is
blended?
not good. No, it's a single barrel special double barrel. Thing,
Too much
whatever the hell
water.
they did it. No, it's just oak. It's over oaked.
Oh, I've had people say that RC6 is like that too, that it's over oaked, and I didn't taste that at all.
They are lying because RC6 is beautiful.
Oh, you're not
Yes, it
kidding.
is.
I love that stuff.
Maker's Mark got that one right. The normal Maker's
did-
Mark, not so much, but RC6, yeah.
They nailed it. They nailed it on that.
Yeah.
I liked 46 is okay, but man, when I tasted the RC6, that was like the best bourbon I've ever had from Makers.
I love 46, but unfortunately, after tasting RC6, I was like, that sucks.
You're ruined. You're ruined for life.
I don't want to be, but unfortunately, here we are.
True.
Yep.
So, Corey and Jim and I were chatting the other day about Old Forester single barrel. What are y'all's opinions on their single barrels? Because I haven't had one that I haven't absolutely loved, and I've had 4 or 5 different ones now.
Exactly. I've had 3 of them, 3 of the different ones, and I'm finding Old Forester tends to be a go-to for a lot of things. Just when I'm just hanging out saying, yeah, I just feel like having a drink, so I'll pour a bottle. I'll pour an ounce or 2 of 1920, just 1920 right out of. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
It's got the right flavor and the right proof and everything else going for it. I like that stuff.
And they just put out a solid product. I'm really looking forward to their barrel proof single barrels that are
That's
coming
gonna
out.
be that's gonna be good stuff.
Yeah.
I will absolutely stay in an overnight line for an Old Forester single barrel proof.
Yep.
That would
Yes.
probably be really good.
I'll sleep in a camping chair. I don't care.
So going back to Jack, Roger said he saw the master distiller at Jack Daniels buying a 12-pack of Natty Light after work.
Shut up.
That's
Shut the fuck up.
That is a true story, by the way.
No, Roger.
straight
Shut
up.
dude.
Full
Steve A
disclosure,
and Robot Scott
if
both
I
off
was
He's
If I
taking it
was
home to his
doing that
children.
all day long, if I was doing that all day long every day, I would probably want some sort of alcohol at home that I just didn't give two shits about. That just didn't matter to anyone.
Yeah, but
He could have
tonight
also been
might
doing
work.
some beer battered chicken or fish.
That's not a bad idea too. Yeah.
That sounds fabulous.
Robot
He
Robot
stuffed all of
Scott
those
said
up a
JD
chicken's
Heritage
butt and
is
used
the
it
lit.
for beer can chicken on his smoker.
Beer can
He
chicken on a
also
smoker
agrees
is
with
fantastic.
Robot Scott Andrew
It
and says
is.
that he really likes his bottle of Heritage Barrel. So David, there's two
Yeah.
people.
I'm glad that people like it because my nickname in the group chat is Brown Foreman, and I Old Forester is my jam. I love Old Forester, and I usually love what Jack Daniels puts out, but my Heritage Barrel's not good.
It should be Brown Noseman.
I actually don't own any
Noseman.
stock in them. I mean, it's
Why not?
I should
You
should buy
should.
stock
Give
in
them your
Brown
money back.
Foreman. I know, right?
Why don't you? It's probably on sale like most other stocks right now.
Oh, when the
Yeah,
economy.
I've watched my income tank. Thank you guys. You're really helping me out here.
Happy to help,
Keep
sir.
buying bourbon. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I know.
If you drink enough, you won't remember how much money you lost, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's all right. It's what I do for a living. That shit's for the clients.
Yeah, I looked at my 401k the other day. That was a mistake.
Oh, don't do that. Just don't do that.
Yeah, I logged in.
Just don't
and
do
saw
that.
It was like,
do it about
go ahead
18
and
months
click
from now. Everything will be fine 18 months from now.
Yeah, I logged in and was like, go ahead and log out. Thanks.
This is going to sound political, and I don't mean to make it sound that way, but I hate to say this. We just got to Obama's high about 3 days ago.
Well,
10-4.
You're amongst friends here.
It's all good, man.
Well, Nick,
just
if it
thought I'd
makes you
bring
feel
that
any
up.
better, I haven't put your 401k in 2 months, so it'll come back.
I haven't been contributing through work, so.
Well,
I will say
But if you would like to contribute to my 401k, I welcome it.
I was looking. Actually, right now would be the time to buy oil.
Yeah, they're
Yes
paying
and
you
no.
to take it.
You got to have some big cojones to be buying oil right now. Let me tell you.
It'll be back in 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, but the problem is you're buying futures and you can't go that long.
Oh,
Yeah, that's where the issue is. A normal
Gotcha.
human being can't buy and just hang on to it. You can buy an ETF that you can hang on to forever. And there's an ETF called USO, which is United States Oil, and you can buy that and hold it forever. And it will eventually come back. It also has a degradation factor that is another whole thing. It's a jargon bullshit thing, but
Gotcha.
yeah, you can do that, but it's a long-term deal.
maybe we'll chat offline about that.
I'm like, I'm lost.
I won't let you do that. I don't do that with my clients' money.
I was over here like, I've been drinking too much to understand most of this conversation.
Go to yeah, you don't want to get into jargon. It's just like bullshit. I'm sorry, but just go to Vegas. Just go to Vegas. It's a hell of a lot more fun.
Kyle and I are in finance, so we both understand what's going on here.
Who? You mean Chip?
Huh?
You're
I'm not in finance.
Sure you are. We're all in
I
finance.
spend a lot of money.
I was about to say, it depends on what you
I
mean
was
by
gonna
finance. If you mean spending a shit ton of money, yeah, Kyle's great at that.
I am into
mean, Kyle is-
financing.
Yeah, I mean that's it.
Does this bourbon store have a layaway program?
Yeah.
And don't
Y'all
tell my
take
wife
payments on that
Jan is
bottle?
The guy wanted $800 for a George, and he wanted $199 for a Stag Junior. I looked at him. I said, "Are you crazy?" Found Blanton's for $129 a bottle. I went, "Nah, I don't think so."
Now I love Blanton's, not for
I do too.
$129.
But it's really good at $70 a bottle as opposed to $129.
And when you
I'm
find it
totally
at Sam's
comfortable
for
at like
49,
70,
it's even
80
better.
bucks.
Yeah, no kidding. I've never seen it at
At
Sam's.
retail, it is primo.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
What's primo?
Blanton's.
Blanton's.
Plans.
Blank.
I did
Specifically
get a
at
straight
retail.
from. I did find a straight from the barrel. I paid up for that one, but that straight from the barrel is good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
really is.
Corey sent
boy.
me a sample of a blend straight from the barrel that he's got that was like 130 proof, like 130.9, I think.
Yeah, mine was 132.
Yeah, I haven't had it just yet. Been trying to decide on when I want to do that.
It's
Right
it's
now.
neat
But-
stuff.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. I walked past it sitting on top of the counter, and I'm like, you and I are going to enjoy each other.
You
Yeah.
might get hit by a bus tomorrow. You don't know.
Listen, that's
If I get hit
open
by a
your
bus
open your
in
bottles
the
and
ranch-
drink them.
Before your
These people
construction
that
workers do.
Flip and collect are stupid.
Sorry, Nick. Truck, not a bus. There's no buses.
It would most likely be like a lifted Silverado,
Farm truck.
possibly a tractor, probably a New Holland, maybe a John Deere. Not 100% sure.
Hey guys, I gotta take care of something. I gotta run. I will
right,
catch you
Jim.
guys later. Thanks for everything. Great samples.
Absolutely, man.
See ya,
Hey,
Jim.
Jim.
Good night, guys. See you,
Hope your
everybody.
poop goes well,
Yeah.
Jim.
Oh well.
So, with that though, we have been on here over an hour. So,
That went quick.
yeah,
I mean, we're
but
all at home, so like, I don't have anywhere to be.
you guys are a tough crowd, man.
You're the only other humans beside my wife that I've seen in a long time. I kind of like this.
You're like, oh, people.
Oh no!
You told your wife you were
interaction
going to
with
go on a
people.
live stream, and she was like, "Yes, go, please."
The sad part is I'm a salesman. You need to talk. I have so many words I have to say a day, and if I don't get them out, it's bad.
That salesman's daily allotment is roughly like 30% higher than a normal person.
Absolutely, it's the truth.
Nick's a salesman, and
Yeah.
we're running like a skeleton crew at work, and he said the first day that I wasn't there, he was the only person in the office. He went in my office like 4 or 5 times looking for me.
Please
to
talk
go
to
like
me.
tell him
Somebody
something. I
talk
popped
to
around
me.
the corner of the office and I was like, hey, okay, never mind. I'll go back to my office now.
You got it. Somebody's got to talk to me, please.
So what you really need to do is come over to my house where you don't have a conversation with anyone over the age of 9 for days.
I get those. I get that from my daughter. My daughter sends me photographs of what she's drinking after the kids go to bed.
That is a thing.
I'll be right back.
I've still got
That is
leftover
definitely a
lunch
thing.
margarita in the fridge.
My son-in-law has been home. My son-in-law has been home for about 4.5 weeks too. He's doing consults. He's a doctor and he does consults on the telephone with all his patients.
Yeah.
And he said this is just not good. He said, I can't do this. And my daughter he's been out in the garage. The guy's been out in his garage. Now, mind you, he's in Florida. It's 95 degrees outside. He's been out in his garage for a month.
Oh man.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. I told him to come
Unless
up here.
there's
to
a-
come up.
Oh,
Unless there's a drag car or like some
Oh.
sort of woodworking shop in the garage, like hard pass.
Yeah, well,
Or
I do a
bourbon.
lot of car stuff. That's my big thing is cars, and
Nick,
I'm
I have
I'm
a
in the garage
56
a
Chevy
lot.
that needs rewired. So
I have told you it needs head
Buy the
gaskets
wiring
too, Kyle.
kit and we'll do it.
Pull the trigger on parts. That's all it takes. I will send you
got-
links after we get off this call.
it just costs one.
It just costs one. All you gotta do is click submit. That's it.
That's true. You just click submit, and everything's okay. David's coming back.
Just
Look
need-
at that.
Yeah, David just
Just need
mentioned that his internet keeps dropping off. It's a
David just
thing.
had to go poop, right?
yep,
Right.
absolutely. I needed those probiotics Chad referenced earlier.
So
I'm sorry, you
welcome
just killed
to,
all your probiotics this just about an hour ago.
welcome to the internet dropping out. That's kind of a
Hey,
thing.
ours hasn't dropped out tonight.
Hush.
And Nick's hasn't either. It's running 6 meg. It's just pumping away, baby.
Slow and steady.
Thank
slow
you.
and steady.
That's right.
Thank you, Mesh Network.
We've only
Well, I
had
got
a
news
couple
for you.
live
Nick's
streams
been
that
freezing
crashed.
up. We've heard every word he said, but he freezes up.
Hey,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
take it.
I've given up on smooth like video chatting with anyone for any reason.
Well,
Yeah.
our,
You just turn the camera off.
our chat,
Turn the-
we've now had what, 3 live streams go out on us?
Yeah.
And we've left people in our chat going, how do we end this?
Thankfully, you've had loyal Patreon members in there to finish the chat and log out.
Close this out.
That's right.
David, I always love it when you finish.
I know, and for Nick, it just for Nick, it's like he could write the Viagra commercial that just says "just pumping away." I mean,
I did.
That's pretty.
I did write that commercial.
I mean, it makes sense. You're in marketing,
Nick actually would be really good at that job.
Pumping
I
away.
would.
No,
just.
Well, I mean, probably
my
that
wife
too,
is
but
pregnant, so technically you're
I
not
know
wrong.
you guys do a lot, and I know you guys hang out a lot. And I know we have a lot of inside jokes and everything, but really now.
I'm just
That
saying,
came across pretty
Some of them are
weird.
true,
for a
huh?
marketing person,
Yeah,
Nick comes up with some crazy, awesome comments.
That's what a marketing guy
Sometimes
does. That's
I
his
have
job.
ideas.
yeah.
Sometimes
That's
I have
his
job.
ideas. Sometimes they're good.
So
Sometimes they're not.
Andrew, Chad Holly in the chat wants to know what Elijah Craig barrel proof old label is that in front of you.
I think 139.4.
This one's the 128.
Oh,
Kyle, you're
So
this
sorry
one-
at this.
Sorry, you're having to suffer through the 128.
It's really, really, really
Sad.
good.
and he's over there sitting there chilling with the Mattingly.
Yeah.
It's the A215.
Kyle, what are you drinking?
I finished off the Four Roses, and then I switched to
Bang,
Rain.
bang.
Total Body Fuel.
Yeah,
Man,
He's
I feel like
cheating
I'm
on
slacking.
he's
Yeah, we-
cheating on
our camera must
sponsor.
be
Oh.
freaking like spot
David,
on.
how
if
do
can
you
read
like that?
What's that?
How do you like that?
This is
Rain?
no. This is phenomenal. If
Is
your
it?
son-in-law, who is the guy to get stuff at retail
My-
price,
my-
can get
my
this,
nephew.
your nephew,
Yeah.
get a bottle of that
Okay.
and get it back. And no, get 2.
Well, I always get two.
Yeah,
You should get
I
4.
always get backup. I don't open a bottle till I get two.
Your backups need backups.
Well, I'm sitting here looking. I'm doing okay on the backup side of things. We're good for the coronavirus.
If you're talking about backups, Kyle's building an army.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
We were talking about it the other day, and I was like, we're dumping all this money into building this studio, and the world's going to hell. And I was
We're
like,
building
well,
a bar.
either one way or the other. Either A, we'll all come out of this okay, and we'll have a new studio out of it, or B, we won't come out of this okay, and we'll just convert it into a bar.
I've already been saying this.
Like,
Every one of you guys have heard
Be
me
a
say this.
speakeasy.
It's what I've already been planning.
Is it the studio now? Is it for video production? Is that what you're planning on doing with it?
Yeah. So we
I've
don't
seen
have
the
to film in our
bill, but
kitchen
I was
anymore.
curious what that's actually going to end up being.
Yeah, so we don't have to film in our kitchen.
We can leave everything up and it stays up, and we don't have to do like massive tear down so I can cook the next day.
Yeah, well, you can do. What kind of cooking stuff are you doing on video?
Oh, nothing.
Oh no, not cooking on video, but all the
Just
lights
actual
and
cooking.
camera and stuff are sitting in the kitchen.
Oh.
Like literally,
I
my
understand.
kids duck under lights all the time, and they're really good at, like, while we're filming, crawling through the floor to get water and stuff. And we just keep on filming, and they're kind of like little rats.
Listen, don't let
crawling all
child
over the
services
place.
hear any of this.
What's
Child services, even in Alabama may have a problem with that.
that?
Everything's safe. I mean, it's not going to come crashing down on them, but
Hi,
when a
guys.
kid wants a drink of water, they know how to stay off the camera. They do a really good job. Even when we're live, like right now, I think I've seen my kids now 4 times, and one's even come in here, tap me on the shoulder, asks for something. You just
so I
kinda-
have
Works.
bottles strategically positioned by your shoulder.
Yep, I do.
Roger says, can he rent a space in the bar and put his name on it?
Well,
Yes.
he would probably bring this like 1976 Wild Turkey 101 or something.
Right.
What old Dusties are you bringing, Roger?
Yeah,
Let's
I was
try it.
gonna say, because it's like he walks into any liquor store. It seems like I scored this Dusty from 1982 or whatever it
He gets
is.
them at yard sale. I don't know how the man does it. Oh, this bottle's never been opened, never been touched, and he's really good at knowing when it's been tampered
It's
with.
like a 70s Eagle Rare decanter.
Store pick.
Canter.
The guys you gotta be careful of are the guys that are getting that prohibition stuff. That's wild.
Yeah,
I'm sure Roger's got a couple bottles.
probably.
I'm sure.
I mean, I'm just not
You probably
even
find
gonna-
them for like $15.
Yeah.
And I have to say, every time, so we run the Lincoln County Bourbon Society here in town. Well, we usually do. It's been a hot second since we've been able to meet. But nicest guy, brings his Dusties, opens them up, shares them. I mean, couldn't ask for a nicer guy. And I wish I had the luck that he does on finding them.
You got to
Yeah,
do
he's a
you got to do
badass
the
for
yard
sure.
sale thing. Seriously, you got to
He-
do the yard sailing and ask the 83-year-old lady, "What did your husband drink regularly?"
Right.
Do you
Because
have
married
any
to you,
bottles
I'm
that
sure
you
he
can
did.
open?
Is there anything stuck in a sock drawer somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
And he yes ma'ams his way right into that 1972 Eagle Rare decanter. How much? Well, she gave it to me for a song. It was $5.
Said
I
could
think
have
he
all of
paid
them
like
for
10 or
$5 a
15 bucks
piece.
for the Eagle Rare decanter. I think it was $10. He got 3 of them. 2 of them were empty. 1 of them was full, and it was like $10 a piece.
He was just talking about that in the
And-
chat.
Unfortunately, that cork kind of tainted the bourbon. It was still good.
Yeah,
It had that cork funk in it. Kind of had a weird flavor
that's a
added.
risky run.
So Chad Hawley says that speaking of Dusties, your Dusty turkey samples will be sent eventually.
Appreciate that, Chad. Chad and I are going to do
Checks in the mail.
turkey through the decades.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, sorry,
Has anybody ever
$6.
done any of
instead.
those beam? Has anybody ever done any of those beam decanters from the 70s and find a bunch of them? There are people that have you done that, David?
My grandfather had a bunch of them. I have a bunch of them.
Were they full when you got them?
Yes.
Oh, bless your heart. Because they used to put those things away. I remember seeing them as a kid, going to the liquor store with my dad, and you'd walk in and they'd have like 35 different things up there in those decanters, and you think, man, that's really,
My
crazy
grandfather had all the race cars.
Oh,
had
that
all
would be the one
whiskey
I'd
in 'em.
want.
I have the one that's real special to me is the number 11 Cale Yarborough from back in the 70s.
Yeah,
70s and 80s.
actually, the 60s, I think. Wasn't the Cale Yarborough one like his 69 car?
Number 11.
1969?
I'd have to
Well, he's
I'd
always-
have to take a look. It's been a while.
Those were the ones that started NASCAR on the big roll when they had the fight at Daytona in January of 69.
79. February of 79. That was
I'm sorry, 79. You're right.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's the first. That was the first televised NASCAR race, and they had a big blizzard in the Northeast, and that's what got
Yep.
everybody hooked on it.
Yep. I've been a sports car racer my whole life. I started with go-karts and I raced sports cars, and now I do the vintage thing, and it's a lot of fun, but never been a roundy round guy much, but certainly
So-
enjoy racing and race cars.
Yarborough and Donnie Allison going down the backstretch, crashing. Richard Petty wins the race, and Waltrip's.
And they beat the shit out of each other in turn 4.
He just kept running his mouth right into my fist. I don't know what the
I don't know
problem
what
was.
happened with that.
So we just
That
got a
was good
super chat
stuff.
from Andrew.
Andrew wants to see us
Cheers.
drink.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Andrew.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do a lot of the race car stuff. That's my big thing.
The
Been doing it
unfortunate
for
part about
years.
this whole coronavirus thing is that nobody's doing any race car things.
No,
Nobody's
matter of
doing
fact,
anything.
we're supposed to be going to Birmingham. We're supposed to be going to Birmingham in the end of May, and I don't know. We've already canceled. We canceled our Sebring event, and we canceled our Atlanta event, which we're supposed to have one in March and one in April. And now the May race in Birmingham at Barber is looking like it's on the ropes too. So who knows?
And my uncle works at Park Place Porsche in Dallas, and he goes to a bunch of the, of course they have Park Place Motorsports,
Sure,
sponsor a bunch of Porsche race cars.
Yep. Yeah, I know the guys.
and-
I don't know them, but I mean I know the cars.
And he
'Cause
goes
they do the WeatherTech World Challenge stuff.
Yeah, and he goes to a lot of their races, obviously as part of the Park Place Motorsports team.
Sure.
And I was supposed to go with him to Sebring either this year or next year, but they obviously canceled this year.
So back
Yeah, it
on the
is.
decanters, Roger's in the chat. He says that he knows a guy somewhere, someplace in a small liquor store that before the virus hit, he went in and they said, yeah, he would sell them. And he says he hasn't been able to get back.
Roger, I'll take whatever you don't.
Right?
Well,
Also
the other
me.
thing is too, liquor stores are essential services. They're supposed to be open.
Oh, they
They
are.
absolutely are essential
Yes, they are.
because they're making things like this happen.
That's right.
I saw in
And
states that have legalized weed, they've also said the dispensaries were essential also.
They are up
Gotta have
here.
a tax-
that's why everybody
They are
in those
Florida.
states are real calm.
Hey, that's a lot of
That's
tax money
right.
they probably don't want to, lose out on. And be
Oh,
like,
where'd
it'll
Mike
keep
go?
people at home.
I'm right.
Okay.
They make 18% tax up here on it in Michigan. So
Wow.
Where in
of money.
Michigan are you, Mike?
in Jackson,
Oh, okay.
the middle of the state.
Yep, I know right where it is. I was born and raised in Monroe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's the first place I worked was Monroe Post,
where?
state police.
Oh, State Police Post. Oh, sure, I know where
Yeah.
that is.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. This sounds convoluted. My brother's brother-in-law was a pediodontal dentist in Jackson.
Gotcha.
He was a pediodontist for years in Jackson. His name is Tom Pink.
I've heard of that name.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Dr. Pink.
Dr. Pink, that's him. Took care of little
What's
kids'
hilarious?
teeth.
Jeff, what's hilarious is that I actually lived in the same apartment and townhome complex as Mike's mother or mother-in-law. I can't remember which one. I used to live in Holt, Michigan,
On Holt?
My mother.
southeast of Lansing.
Yep. We used to have a place in Oscoda. My brother and his wife lived in Oscoda for a lot of years, and they're in South Carolina now, but they were in Oscoda. They were in Monroe, and then went to Oscoda. He's a pharmacist still. He's still a pharmacist in South Carolina.
The theme here is people that live in Michigan move south when they're done.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yes, they do. And people
I
in
did it.
Indiana
I did
too.
it when I was 20. I got smart early.
Oh man, smart.
Man.
I used to live on Kyle's couch.
That's also true.
I'm sorry, Nick.
Yeah,
That's very true.
No, we used to live like 4 streets away from each other when we first met, and I just crashed at his place all the time. Like I would go home and change clothes and shower and come back.
Well, it's because you couldn't walk by the time you got done.
Mm-hmm.
No, there were plenty of nights that we definitely got rowdy. So one of my favorite stories on one of my birthdays, my dad was our designated driver and had 6 gin and tonics at the bar.
That's a good dad.
and he was the sober one. Okay.
Yeah.
And he was the sober one.
He was definitely the most soberest.
Yeah, we were all, me, Kyle, and Aaron were all just ruined. Or as people around here would say, ruined.
Ruined. Yeah, you're ruined.
Um,
Yeah, you're living in Alabama, you're ruined.
And
Ruined.
we get back to Kyle and Aaron's place, and Aaron sees their dogs in the pen in the backyard, and one of the dogs named Toby, and she was like, Toby, and just screams. And there's like a 3-foot drop from the driveway to the yard, just like a wall. She just runs straight off of it, disappears, and we were all like, oh shit. And then she just pops back up and keeps running across the yard. And you're like, oh, she's good.
They're dogs. They're dogs. They just roll down the hill and they keep going.
And she was like, I'm not leaving this bar. I'm going to walk right back. And I was like, no, you're not. And she was like, okay. You're an easily convinced drunk. That concerns me.
You mean when she stepped off the bar stool and fell flat on her face?
No, she was totally upright from the bar to the car to the edge of the driveway, and then
done.
That was good times. Good times.
That was good times. What was not good times?
You guys will get old and realize your liver can't do this forever.
Oh, I already have started that.
What was not good times when me and Kyle made up a drinking game to Gran Torino.
Oh, that's a bad
Oh,
thing.
God.
Yeah.
Every time there was a racial slur, you take a drink.
You took a shot.
Oh.
Well, you just might as well have a straw for that one.
And we were doing like Captain Morgan 101 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
We started like a
chasing it
third
with
of the way through the
like
movie and we still didn't finish.
That's a wicked hangover too.
Halfway through the movie, and I don't think I could have gotten up off the couch like the next day around noon.
Yeah,
but
I believe that.
Erin, being the wonderful soul that she is, at like 6:30 in the morning, got up and was like, "Who wants breakfast?" And I was like, "I'm gonna stab you to death as soon as I can open my eyes."
Let's have some nice greasy bacon with this.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Browns.
It's like, just treat me
greasy
like a
bacon
baby
and a pork
bird,
chop.
chew it up and spit it in my mouth because I can't function.
I can't chew anymore. See, that's the good thing about living in the South. We always have grits. You know, grits will absorb everything.
Love grits.
I do enjoy some good like ham and cheese grits.
Oh, I just like cheese grits. Period. I can live on that stuff.
I would go to town on some cheese grits. Like you could give me a bowl, like a serving bowl of cheese grits.
Yeah, buddy.
Done. Just give me a ladle and go away.
Yeah. That or the other thing is biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Oh, anytime.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's why the
anytime
people
day or night. Like Aaron's
like
going
red eye gravy.
I like biscuits.
I love some red eye gravy.
Jelly. Jam.
You got to have gravy on that thing. I mean, listen,
Brown
that's why
sausage
everybody in the
gravy.
South moves so darn slow, is because they've just had 2 helpings of biscuits and gravy.
You're right, David. That does
I'll
slow
tell you what,
down
Cracker
starting at about
Barrel's got some
7:30 in the
pretty
morning, man.
strong
You're
biscuits and gravy.
already in low gear by the time you get to lunch.
I do not do biscuits and gravy.
My grandmother's from Bowling Green, Kentucky. She put cayenne in that biscuits and gravy
Oh,
with the
yeah,
good hot
buddy.
sausage.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, buddy.
You
good
get the hot
stuff.
Italian sausage and use that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My family's from New
Yeah.
Orleans, and we do not do biscuits and gravy.
From where?
Well, y'all are wrong, and that's fine.
Y'all are wrong. It's all right.
Y'all aren't right.
No, you contracted that incorrectly. It's yank right.
Yank right.
Yank
Ain't
right.
right.
Yank
That's what
right.
Ain't
My
right.
dad's
Ain't
mom
right.
used to say ain't.
Just like from,
That's
from around here.
that's the Appalachia coming through. You ain't right.
It's like you go to the
Yeah,
South,
then-
like you got words like yont to. We're going tomorrow,
Yont.
yont to.
Yon't do.
The key is when you make it, when you make your roux, you have to cook it till right before it gets burnt, and then add your milk, and that way you get like that nice dark rich gravy with the sausage in it.
Well,
obviously.
and you got to almost burn the sausage because it'll rehydrate when you put the milk in it.
Yep. Yep. See, a lot of people out here, they just do like a really white gravy.
White. Oh no.
It's
No,
definitely
no, no,
not
no,
from
no.
scratch. Like
No,
they
no, no,
definitely
no.
come out of a can or a packet or something.
No.
It's
So,
got to be
I'm
almost.
like-
It's got to be almost brown.
Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brown
so Roger
gravy.
says, my cousin
Yep.
Benny, what the hell is a grit? Love grits, gravy, and all that stuff. Now, grits is something I can get behind, and it's just salt, pepper, and butter. Do not muck with my grits.
Oh, put some cheese in them.
Put some cheese in that bad boy.
Yeah,
I'm
buddy.
sure.
No, like it needs to have enough cheese to be like stringy when you get a spoonful. Like
Yep.
it needs to be cheesy. They need to be orange because it needs to be cheddar.
I wonder if Caden would eat cheesy grits. Caden asks for grits every single morning.
Not every morning, but pretty close.
Almost.
You guys do shrimp and grits?
Kyle's
That's
allergic.
something
to
I'll-
I am not a fan of shrimp and grits.
I found a recipe. I like to cook too. There was a place on Tybee Island called Uncle Bubba's, which was Paula Dean's brother's restaurant. He got closed down because he made a bunch of racial slurs and it was ugly. But yeah, well,
Seems to run in the family.
they're back. Yeah, it does. Yeah, they had a bad go of things for a while. They were not doing well. But Bubba's recipe for shrimp and grits, and you would swear that those grits have cheese in them. And the reality is it's andouille and heavy cream. And it is out of this world. I mean,
really anything with andouille in it is prime.
Yeah.
I've just learned when you look back in the kitchen and you see the chef and the chef's like 400 pounds, you're like, this guy can cook. Let's go.
Buddy. Never trust a skinny chef.
I mean, absolutely.
If there's a fat dude or woman in the kitchen cooking, it's like, bet.
Yep.
I'll have whatever the fuck they want to make me.
Anything. Yeah. You put it on my plate, I'll eat it because obviously it must be good.
What do you want for breakfast? Dinner? Surprise me.
Yeah, so whatever you want to cook, I'll eat whatever you want to cook.
I'll tell them that too. What do you want? Dinner.
Yeah, dinner.
You have to tell who you got that from. That was not originally yours.
It was David.
Not
no,
David,
so yeah, not that David. Sorry.
Not me.
Another David.
Yeah.
I wish I could take credit for that one because that sounds good.
Yeah, he'd walk into a restaurant and they'd be like, "So, what can I get you?" He's like, "Dinner." And the waitresses would look at him so confused.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll bet you had some of the best meals he ever ate in his life that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We had.
And, we were both in culinary school at the time, so we were always just trying to try whatever we could.
Yeah. Well, I've cooked most of my life and I really enjoy it. One of the best times I ever had, my wife for my 40th birthday, this was a long time ago, for my 40th birthday, my wife hooked me up. I did two things on that deal. We went to New Orleans and I did two things there that was the coolest two things I've ever done in my life. I got to cook at K. Paul's Kitchen with Paul Miller, who was the head chef who took over. He's Paul Prudhomme's son-in-law. Or that's not true. Paul Prudhomme's uncle-in-law. And Paul Miller took the restaurant over and I got to cook lunch shift there. And then we went and ate at Ella Brennan's place at Commander's. And we were at the chef's table in the kitchen. And it was just Ella, my wife, and myself. And she cracked a bottle of Knob Creek and we sat there and got hammered and had one of the best meals of my life.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was cool. That was a cool experience. Absolutely a cool experience.
One of my favorite things to do is going into a restaurant and like letting the waitress or waiter decide on what my meal is going to be. Be like, hey, these are the things I don't like. Go ahead.
Right.
I don't care what you bring me.
Yeah, my problem is I don't have anything I don't like with the possible exception of liver.
That's understandable.
Yeah, like livers and gizzards. Like,
yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, you're right.
Think like internal organs and not really my thing.
No, they're called varietal meats.
Not my thing.
You've been down there in that PC culture of Florida too long.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm telling you, I know. But here's the thing: you guys have up by you guys in Fayetteville. Do you have like 7-Elevens that have gizzards and livers fried?
Yeah, don't have 7-Eleven.
Yeah, it's a Shell station. But yeah, absolutely.
But I've never seen anything like that. I go to Georgia, and we've got a place in South Carolina that when we go up there, we stop at this gas station, and they've got gizzards. They got gizzards and livers fried, ready to go for you, just for takeout.
Yep, I will say the same place, the same gas station, has probably some of the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll bet.
Nick can vouch for that too.
It's not bad. It's edible.
Absolutely. We'll vouch for it.
The chicken tenders are like this freaking big, and they're juicy, and they're just always on point.
Roger's agreeing with you in the chat.
Yeah, gas station chicken. We had John from Blind Whiskey Reviews came down And we took it. We were like, we'll get you some gas station chicken. And he was like, all right.
Yeah, no, we're not
hesitant.
doing that.
He's a city boy
like,
then.
No, really.
And City Boy
you're
didn't
gonna
want to get ptomaine.
you're gonna want to check out this gas station chicken. It's hands down some of the best fried chicken I have ever had.
That's funny.
Roger just said the best gizzards in the state are just around the corner from Kyle's house at the Shell station, the West End Shell. He also said,
West
I
End
can vouch for the chicken.
Yeah.
Because
That chicken's real strong.
I like
It
their
is.
eggs.
Y'all ever drive up through Indiana? We got a cafeteria called Gray Brothers Cafeteria. On Saturday nights, they serve chicken livers and fried pork tenderloin. They're about the size of your plate, fall off the side of the plate. They're that
Oh,
big.
I love pork tenderloin like
But
that.
that's the Indiana thing, man. You get that pork tenderloin, sopping in white gravy. You get the fried potatoes with the white gravy on them. I mean, you just keep on going.
Are you in Southern Indiana?
I am. I'm in.
Yeah,
I live in Bloomington, Indiana.
In Bloomington. Oh, you're a cutter.
Mhm.
Yep,
So-
absolutely. Yeah, you guys get it.
Yeah.
You're close enough to Kentucky. You get it.
Yep. I used to live in Lexington.
Okay. Yep, you
So,
get it.
I lived there for about 3.5 years.
Good night, y'all.
Aaron's
Yeah,
dipping out.
I'm out
got
too. You
one
guys
stuff.
take it easy, all right?
Go to bed.
Everybody take it easy.
Night,
All
y'all.
right, take it easy, Mike.
Peace, Mike.
Yeah.
Peace, Mike.
Yeah, David,
that's a hard
if you
thing.
come through here, you have to get some of that chicken.
I gotta go get
Okay.
some of that chicken. That just sounds good right now.
It's
There's
I could
spicy
eat it.
ranch.
I could.
Oh my god,
It
that
was
spicy,
spicy
ranch.
ranch.
they also have some of the best freaking biscuits ever.
Yep. Big thick ones.
No, like they have
yeah.
a chicken egg biscuit that will blow your fucking mind.
I still have never wrapped my mind around a chicken biscuit for breakfast. I just have not gotten
It's
there.
like a fried chicken patty on a
Yep.
biscuit. They also have steak.
Yeah,
And
well, I can do ham. I can
Of course,
do
Well,
eggs.
you
I
take
can do
you take the
cheese.
top
I
of the
don't get
biscuit off.
chicken.
You drizzle some honey on the chicken.
All right.
You put it back, or
Ooh.
honey and hot sauce. Both are applicable
Right.
and work. And then, boom.
And of course, being in the South, right? You can also get fried bologna.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad plan. That
Absolutely.
fried bologna and
nice
cheese is
thick
good.
Fried bologna.
I'll fuck with some fried bologna.
I'll tell you a racing story. Years ago when I was racing in IMSA, back in the 70s, I raced. Paul Newman was one of the guys we raced with. And Joanne Woodward used to come and make us fried bologna sandwiches in the motorhome almost every day. She's a little Georgia girl, and she used to do fried bologna sandwiches for us every day. She'd literally come to the door of the motorhome and go, "Come on, boys, the sandwiches are done." And we'd go have fried bologna sandwiches every time. It was
That's
fun.
awesome.
She was a cool lady. She is a cool lady. I haven't seen her
So
in years, but
you'll appreciate this, Chip. So my uncle used to race in what became the Rolex Cup.
Yep.
Race
I
for
did
King
too.
Motorsports.
Yep.
And their Integra Type R. His name was Mike Van Sticklen. I don't know if you know him.
name doesn't ring a bell, but that doesn't surprise me. I was racing in the 70s, in the mid 70s and late 70s.
Okay, well he was racing far more recently.
Yeah, in the 90s. They were in the 90s.
Right. So I went with him to a race at VIR, hands down one of the best experiences of my life. I got to be the fire bottle guy at the pit stops. So every
Isn't that
time
a
the car
cool
came in
place?
for fuel and tires, I
Yep.
had the suit on. I got to jump out with like a fire extinguisher just in case they were wrong. One of my favorite things. They raced Porsches for a while, and then they switched to King Motorsports because he worked for Bridgestone
Right.
at the time. In their performance tire division, he was one of their executives. So he got to be kind of one of the, I guess, the gentleman racer type thing.
Well, and they were the sponsors of the series too.
Right. So he brought most of the money in. And he was like, "Hey, I'll be a title sponsor for King Motorsports, and make sure you guys get to keep racing. And as you're the sole distributor of Mugen parts in North America for Honda, we'll make sure that you guys have good representation for them and yourselves on the track." And it worked out. And so they had like a Bridgestone tread pattern across the hood and roof of the F-350. They towed their race truck.
I remember the car. I remember that car.
Yeah, it's awesome. So much fun. So he was telling me a story about when they were going cross country, because he stored the truck and trailer at his house with a race car in it. So basically, most of them would either fly to Nashville or other airports along the way. They'd kind of pick up, and they would have 4 or 5 guys in the truck, and they would look for like 24-hour all-you-can-eat buffets.
Right.
And they were on a drive from Nashville where he lived, because he worked at Bridgestone and their headquarters was in Nashville.
Right.
And they were on their way to Oregon for a race, and they stopped somewhere for to eat before they stopped at their hotel for the night. They found this 24-hour all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet, and they were there for 4 hours.
Oh my God! You go home now.
The manager walks up and he was like, "You leave now."
Yeah, you
And
leave
like,
now. That's like the
sign
John
says
Connect routine. You go home now. You scare my wife.
He told him, he was like, "But the sign says all you can eat." And he was like, "That all you can eat."
That's all you can eat. You go home now. You scare my wife.
It was hands down one of my favorite stories. I laughed so fucking hard when he told me that story.
Listen, I got news for you. Those kids, when you get those kids, most of the guys that work on race cars are younger guys, and those kids can absolutely pack it away. We go to, there have been many times when we go to the Chinese buffets, and I'm amazed. I'm thinking, how can anybody eat that much fried rice? I'm flabbergasted by that. Where does it go? I would explode. And then they go drink like fish.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they got all that fried rice in the system that can absorb it.
It's absorbed. Yeah, they have the total immunity to alcohol. Absolutely the truth. Sad but true. Oh well, I having done that and been on the road and done that stuff. At this point, I race very old cars, and I'm the technical inspector for historic sports car racing for HSR. And you're talking about VIR. VIR is absolutely one of the coolest racetracks on the planet. That is such a great place to go. Fun place, nice people, a good venue.
Talking about VIR, right?
Yep.
Yeah, VIR
absolutely.
is hands down one of my favorites.
Where's that at?
Virginia, Danville, Virginia.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Danville,
So
Virginia.
that was my uncle's race car.
We can't see it. There you go.
Oh yeah, I remember that car.
In 2001.
Yep, I know that car.
Yeah. So
there was a time when I worked for IMSA too. Before I got away from driving race cars, and then worked for IMSA for several years for John and Peg Bishop, and then got back into driving. My wife looked at me one night and said, "You really want to go back to driving race cars, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Okay, go buy a vintage car. As long as it isn't like a fire-breathing monster, you can do that." And then in 2000 and when did I have my accident? I'm just trying to think. October 23rd, 2004. Is that right? Anyway, I had a wicked accident at Sebring and tried to kill myself. And I was out of the seat. I'm out of the seat of any high-powered race cars at all. So I race an 82-year-old race car now, but I have a blast. Hey, listen,
that's awesome.
You can have as much fun at 80
I'll
as you
imagine
can
you
at
have
200. You can have as much fun at 80 as you can at 200 miles an hour. Trust me, it's absolutely as much fun, and it'll scare you worse than going 200 miles an hour. Trust me. 80 miles an hour going sideways through. Well, you going 80 miles an hour going sideways at Sebring and turn number 9 at Sebring is a harrowing experience. When the guy who's in front of you says, "The only thing I saw was the entire side of your car when you came through the turn," I went, "Yeah, that's what you should see." That's the way it's supposed to work. The car was absolutely working correctly. But it's fun.
Yeah, no. So my my uncle's co-driver was Bob Endicott.
Boy, no, I know that name.
Yeah, a lot of people that have been in the racing area have know him. And then when I say that, oh yeah, he was Michael's co-driver, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I know him. I know Mike. He's working for Exxon now. Lives in Houston.
Does he? Is he still driving?
Yeah. So his job. No, he had a heart attack not too long ago.
Yeah.
His job now is he goes around to all the Valvolines and stuff like that, and basically teaches them how to sell shit that's not an oil change.
Right.
Tires
how to do the
and-
schmooze, how to sell, how to upsell.
Right. Because
Yep.
even Exxon knows that selling oil is not going to be a long-term plan for them as a company.
Yeah. It's still going to be pretty long term. We're still not getting over to hybrids yet and full electric stuff yet, but it's coming. I mean, I don't disagree with you that it's coming.
I would say within the next decade, we're going to see a massive shift in the
Yeah, I think you're right.
percentage of hybrid or electric cars against full internal combustion. Because right now the hybrid and electric segment of the market is substantially less than 10% of all cars sold.
Yeah. The biggest problem we have right now is disposing of the batteries. That's the scary part of those cars.
Yeah.
What do you do when you wreck one? The frickers they catch on fire in the junkyards. It's bad.
Yeah. So the biggest thing about the recycling the batteries is that they are in fact recyclable. So the biggest thing is there are lots of companies out there, because electric cars have been out for a little while now. Well, have been out again for a while now, because they were out in the early 1900s.
Yeah. The Detroits and the Edisons and that stuff that were out there.
Right. So they've been, and then GM had the EV1 in the 90s, and then they were like, that upsets our friends in the oil industry, so we'll crush all of those. And so you've seen that the lifespan of batteries and the early Priuses and the Honda Insights and stuff like that reach their end of life, and then they go and they're recycled and rebuilt, and components are replaced, and those remanufactured batteries are resold at a fraction of the cost of a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then they can recycle the portions of the battery that aren't reusable. So I think that realistically, when handled properly, like with anything else, that the electric portion of hybrid or electric cars are just as sustainable as regular car batteries.
My biggest problem
regular
is
car
why
batteries.
Your
like likelihood of actually
idea.
buying a new battery are almost non-existent.
Right.
It'll be a new case.
I don't understand why they haven't pursued the hydrogen thing more. That's the thing that I have not been able to figure out, because that's so doable. That's water. That's water with electrolysis. I mean, that's simple.
I think really it's at the end of the day probably public acceptance of hydrogen.
Yeah, I agree.
Because people are like, oh, hydrogen, that's what killed the Hindenburg.
Right, everybody blew up. Yeah,
but not the same.
It's not the same deal.
I will say,
David, you're laughing.
I got to drive a Tesla, and they're freaking fun.
They're rockets.
Rockets. That's
They're
a good word for it.
They're rockets.
And the throttle response is unreal.
What throttle response? You go from 0 to 100 in like a blink.
I want to meet the lawyer that
regular. Go ahead, David.
Say that, David.
I said I want to meet the lawyer that approved the mode that says "insane" on it.
Yeah,
that's what I want to meet. That is awesome.
Knowing
David,
Elon Musk,
you take him to a racetrack. We were at Palm Beach, and we took him out on the racetrack. And you start off, and by the time it's a very short period of time between the start line And the first turn at Moroso, it was like, I'm going how fast? How I can't slow down fast enough for this. I've never had anything put me back in the seat like an electric car,
And there's no
it's either
downshifting, no
on
nothing.
or it's off. They're
And like when
either
you're
on or
you
they're
could be doing
off.
highway speeds and stomp on the gear. I mean, it's insane.
Oh, Kyle, they're wild.
Well, the electric motors make 100% of their available power and torque at 0 RPM. Like there's no winding up.
No,
right.
Immediately. It's
right.
like,
and it's also one of the big things is you can't prepare for it. Like if you're in somebody's, say you got a 600 horsepower Corvette that's on a trans brake,
you're fairly
like
you're fairly ready
you've
at
got the noise of the engine
3 seconds
coming up that you can prepare for, and then let off the trans brake and you're gone. So you're like, okay, it's loud. I know we're about to go fast. I'll hold tight. Okay, here we go. We're going fast now. In an electric car, you're just sitting there and it's
sucks
silent,
your eyeballs
and
out.
all of a sudden you're like, wham! Okay, I have whiplash now.
Yeah, I hurt. My neck hurts now. Thank you. There's a reason they have headrests in those cars.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like
Absolutely.
I think that
Roger,
that
turn on your audio.
Did it?
Sure.
Is it good now?
There we go.
Now
It's
we
good
got
now,
it.
man.
I need a haircut, guys.
Hey, Roger.
How you doing? Now y'all
What's going
talking
on, man?
country. I'm the
Mr.
hick, so-
Dusty himself.
But like I was saying, like companies like Tesla, and then back with the trinity of hybrid hypercars, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari, showing what gasoline electric power, what hybrid can do.
Yeah.
When it's not engineered for fuel economy is astounding.
Oh, listen, I've owned a number of Ferraris, and I've owned a number of interesting cars over my lifetime, but there is nothing that accelerates like an electric car. There is nothing.
Not including the Nissan Leaf.
Huh? No, well, I mean, come on. And a Prius. Yeah, you put your hand out and the car turns.
Or the Focus electric.
Don't hang your elbow out because you're going to turn left.
And slow it down.
Put your elbow out and you lose 30% of your range, and everybody's like, calm down.
You roll the windows down and you're going to only go half as far.
They call it a Nissan Leaf because it goes as fast as a leaf blowing in the wind.
They should have called it a flake.
Hey guys, I was out in Albuquerque one time years ago, and we were in a Camaro, and I woke up and a tumbleweed passed us on the interstate. I was like, "Can we speed up?" I mean, but that's a true story. I've never seen. The wind was blowing really heavy, and I think a truck pulled it by, but it was funny. It's late, y'all. Sorry.
That sounds possible.
Whew. Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, so I thought I'd stay.
We're off every day. You need a new job.
Well, I'm working from home. There's not a whole lot we can do. Yeah, so I actually took 3 vacation days to get away from the phone. I know it's sad.
I'm going down to see my grandkids for the first time in a month tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
It's going to be an interesting birthday for that poor little guy. I feel so bad for him. You know, the kids that I really feel bad for? I feel bad for the graduating seniors this year of wherever they are.
Whether it's high school, college, any of it.
You betcha. All of that.
Why is that?
I saw an article earlier that a principal in Florida printed out all the yearbook pictures of the seniors and lined the driveway of the school.
In Palm Grove. I think it was in Palm Grove. I saw that on the news tonight.
I was like, that's cool, but nobody's pulling into your school to see that. So
yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it is what it is. The guy's trying. You got to give him an A for effort,
right? Like it. You know, it was a great kind of memento, which is nice. You know, but
still, it isn't like walking across the stage.
No.
And full disclosure, like I don't give a shit that I walked across the stage.
I don't
high school graduation.
Here's the thing about the seniors that are graduating either from high school or college right now. They're not being drafted by the military to go to work, into World War, go to Germany or Japan
go
or
to Germany or
Vietnam or anything.
or Vietnam, right? Yeah, you're
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's yes, it's not.
It's a big milestone in life.
It's a big milestone that they won't get to have, but it's let's pump the brakes on this just a little bit, because they're not going to Vietnam to go defend the United States. They're not going to Germany or Japan or anything like that. It's
or Europe or whatever. The wartime. I look back. My dad was. My dad was a World War II fighter pilot. I can relate to that. I know exactly what.
Right. Yep. No, I completely understand that, but like it's again, it's one of those things that they're missing out on a portion of life that a lot of us have taken for granted because it was never an issue.
Yep, exactly.
For pretty much anyone.
The one thing
even
I think
during World War I and II, that when you graduated from high school, you still walked across the stage like it wasn't a big deal.
And they shipped your ass tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. But I think one of the big things that, with my wife being pregnant, us being almost basically 35, 40 days away from having our first child.
Ooh, fun.
My sister's pregnant. My wife's best friend is pregnant. My wife's best friend's sister just gave birth today. One of my friends in Atlanta and his wife just gave birth 2 weeks ago.
What was in the water 10, 11 months ago?
Fuck if I know, man.
9 months, David. 9 months, David.
That's what I hear. That's how long it takes.
9 months.
One of my friends in Detroit him and his wife just gave birth to their first child. My friend in Chattanooga, him and his wife were pregnant with their second child. Like, everybody I fucking know is pregnant, and it's really weird. But like, most of my friends have had to cancel their baby showers, including us.
Yep.
So, and considering that most of us are having our first child, at least that I know of that are pregnant right now, like that's a big thing that they're missing out on.
That sucks. It does. And I'll tell you what.
Absolutely.
That's one of the biggies. I agree with you. I was so glad. But I have 2 daughters, and my oldest daughter's had 2 children. My youngest daughter's got 1. We're looking at 6, 2.5, and 15 months. And I can tell you that all of the showers for those kids were very meaningful to their moms. A lot.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
And then you cap that on top of everybody having to socially isolate or work from home or be furloughed or lose their job or whatever. And it's like every step is they're more and more isolated and more removed from all of their friends.
Yep.
And
their emotional
it's a really tough time for a lot of people. So stuff like this, I think is really great for us, to be able to get together to try and bring some sort of semblance of community back to the people that watch the channel or are part of the Patreon or whatever. And
right,
it does make a difference. Like, I was looking forward to tonight because Kyle's the only person I've fucking seen for the past month almost.
That sucks.
it does suck. It's not great. That's not like a good
Kyle,
only
you suck.
person.
Is what he's telling Nick. He's
Pretty much
telling you suck. That's not good.
He tells me
We've
that
been
every
friends
day,
for
though.
12 years at this point, so he sucks. He does. I suck too, just to be clear.
Yeah.
It's equal suckage, and take that as you.
Take that as you will.
Take that as you will. However you interpret that's probably not inaccurate, but we'll just go with it.
That's right. But it's a good thing. The whole thing, it's nice to have interaction with other people. I'm used to having a lot of interaction with people from literally all over the world. And a lot of the interaction that I have, especially with the racing thing, we have people that fly in on a regular basis from Europe to race with us and do the kind of stuff. And that kind of I miss that. I mean, I like really miss it. Thank God for Facebook, because at least I can, give them jabs and have fun on with a little bit of that on an ongoing basis to stay in touch.
Once races go back up, you're going to need to invite me to a race.
Oh, hey, you can come anytime you want, anywhere you want. We race, most everything we race is east of the Mississippi. So you're in Huntsville. You're in Huntsville. Our next race is in Birmingham, if we have it.
That's 2 hours.
If we have it, if we actually have the race, I don't think we're going to do that though. I got a conference call on Monday with a race director and head registrar and that kind of stuff on Monday. So I think we're going to make, I don't know whether we're going to make some decisions or not, but I know VIR is closed till June the 6th. So if we were racing there, we would not be racing because they're done. And I'm thinking that George Barber's not going to let us race in Alabama. I don't ever believe. The problem is this would be the first vintage race anywhere in the United States since January. So it would be I'm sure we would have a bazillion entrants, and I don't know where the hell we'd put them. Because the racetrack in Birmingham, even though it's got a fairly large paddock, it's not big enough to have more than 250 cars maybe on a good day. So,
right. Yeah. Bourbon Motorsports Park is a beautiful facility. It really is.
They refer to it as the Augusta National of car racing.
Yeah. I would say hands down my favorite track in the continental United States is Laguna Seca.
Yeah, it's okay. It's too much of a desert for me. I go out there regularly. I used to race there regularly a lot, but it's a sand pit. It's just miserable from a get your car prepped. Even though they have a lot of pavement, it's still sand everywhere, and it gets everywhere.
I've got a cool racing story for you guys.
What's that,
Go
Roger?
ahead, Roger.
I've got a cool racing story for you guys. I've listened to, I've watched some, but years ago we had our store on Interstate. And so when Saturn came along, they built the plant. A lot of people came down from Michigan, Ohio, and so one of my neighbors, really cool guy, had about 30 cars. I ended up with a couple of them. One of them was a 69 Roadrunner and the other one was a 94 Cobra. He's a good guy. But anyway, his dad was a doctor in Michigan. And they went to races, and he was telling me about how they used to like to go, and that's the only thing him and his dad connected with, And so one day he came in, and he was like a little girl seeing One Direction or something. He's like, where I just came from? He found out that he lived 1.5 miles. I knew the guy was over there. He works on Porsches. He's from Lewisburg. He lives in Lewisburg, Tennessee, but he used to race Porsches. I think in the 60s. He lost an eye. He was he raced with one eye, and Richard, one of his dad's favorite driver, was that guy, and he didn't know he lived beside him or close to him for like 15 years when he moved down. And he was like, the guy welcomed him in, and they had a long talk, and it was pretty cool to watch this guy and relive a lot of the memories. And he was telling me things that it was just I love listening to stuff like that, but the odds of him moving south and them, they're less than 2 miles apart, after all those years.
I'll tell you a similar story. I was a kid. We used to go, my family lived up near Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, which has the Road America racetrack. And when I was 10, isn't that a great place? When I was 10 years old, a guy by the name of Brian Redman, who was an Englishman, raced in a Formula 5000 race there in 1972. And in 1972, I was about 14 years old, and Brian let me kind of literally crawl all over his car when he was there on the Lola that he was driving. And I never forgot that. It was one of those things that stuck in my mind, and it was one of the reasons I wanted to be a sports car racer. It was a lot of things. Well, lo and behold, here it is 40 years, 50 years later. And Brian Redman is now a friend of mine. His son is a very good friend of mine, and I get to see him on a regular basis. The guy was like, he's like my all-time sports hero, and I get to interact with him, and I get to see him, and I get to talk with him, and I get to have dinner with him, and I get to hang out with him, and it's like that kind of stuff happens. It happens on occasion, but when it happens, it's like oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing that's ever happened in my life. And Brian doesn't, I told him as time went on, I told him, I said, you are my hero. I mean, literally, you are my hero as far as race car drivers go. And he looked at me and goes, are you kidding me? He says, I just raced a bunch of old plastic cars for a living. And I said, Brian, the impression that you made on me and what you did for me when I was, a kid has stuck with me my whole life. And now I get to call you my buddy and go out to dinner with you and hang out and have cocktails and, all that. It's just great. It's a fun thing to have happen. It's cool.
People always remember how you made them feel. That's the truth.
Right.
They don't care what
I
you
stand
look like.
by that. Two things bring people together and make them best friends: cars, alcohol.
It's a good
preferably not combined, but at least at the same time.
My family made a living
as long as you're
taking cars and delivering alcohol. I know.
See, but they weren't drinking while driving.
Exactly right. Yeah.
You must be friends of Junior Johnson.
Legally.
Yeah. This county was dry for a lot of years.
No, but cars are how I met Kyle.
Was it through cars?
Yeah.
He moved here from.
Kyle, tell me about this '56 Chevy you got.
Oh, it's sweet.
So it was actually my very first
Dusty ass
car.
wagon.
I'm
surprised Roger hadn't offered to buy that Dusty off of you.
That's one of my favorites. Is it a Nomad?
No, it's a 4-door.
Okay. I can't remember. Okay.
So it's a 210 4-door. Like I said, it was my very first
Is the wagon
car.
is a stay wagon?
What's that?
It's a 210 sedan, right?
210 wagon.
Oh, it's a wagon. It is a stay wagon. Oh, I like stay wags. You got the jump up seat in the back?
No. It's actually, I got a fuel cell back there now, but.
Oh, you dragging the car?
No. So when we bought it,
not yet.
I was 15 and the guy was building it pretty much for racing. And he put a fuel cell in it. He converted it to front power disc brakes.
Did he tub it?
What's that?
Did he tub it? Put wide wheels in the back?
No, that's been on my list for about 20 years now, though.
Don't do that to that
car. I got a grinder.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm with you, Roger. All right. Don't do that.
I got a grinder.
We got 10 snips. We can cut that shit out.
Right.
Wheelies are greater than originality.
Yeah.
So he converted it to front power disc brakes. Had a 350 training with a 350 motor, and had dual 4 barrels on it. And we picked it up. It was primered, ready to paint for $3,300.
Oh, that's a steal. Have you ever driven it?
Oh yeah, it was my daily driver.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay. So
yeah. Like I said, it was my first car. So
Well, when you said wiring harness, it worried me. I thought, oh, geez, he'd probably never driven the car.
Oh no. So like I said, I got it when I was like 15, and at the time, like I've always done all my own work on it, and when I was doing it, I was 16, 17 years old. I could get up under there and grab any single wire and be like, oh, this is a really flexible, heavy gauge red wire. This goes from here to here. And a year or two ago, I got up under there and I looked, I was like, this is a fucking rat's nest. I don't know where any of this shit goes.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to cobbled up wiring
right.
harnesses.
So, I mean, technically it runs and drives. But at this point, like I would really like to just get like a painless kit or something similar.
Right.
And just go through the whole car and just redo everything.
Just start at the tail lights and work forward.
Right. We redid the motor in it. My buddy had a 77 Corvette that I was nice enough to total for him. And I took his motor out of it and put it in my car. That's how good of a friend I am. After I totaled it.
There was a movie out called The Folkers that the kids said ass.
So so he had built the motor in it, or we did, and really nice, like scat bottom ends,
Right. The good stuff.
nice aluminum racing heads, Victor Jr. intake. The cam in it is fairly small. It's a 268 cam.
Yeah, so you got a road car.
Right, exactly, because it was my daily driver. So
It's a street car.
right. But like full comp cams, roller rocker set, full MSD ignition set, the 6AL with the billet distributor, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which has shocked the fuck out of me.
It will. Those coils.
It did.
Those hot coils will fry your fingers if you're not careful.
That damn near threw me out from under the hood of the car one day.
And they will do that.
He said, "Oh, I'll just reach in and adjust this distributor real quick."
No. Try doing that with a magneto. I had a friend of mine. A friend of mine was doing it with a magneto on one of my old cars, and he said, "I shocked myself, and it threw me on the ground." He said, "And then I did it again." It was like, don't turn the magneto; it will hurt you.
Yes, I mean it's not. It really needs a bigger cam and a bigger carb.
Call Jags. It's just a function of money.
And really, I mean, they're really not that expensive.
No, they're not.
I would
got
actually
that stimulus check. Stimulate that motor.
It's either buy Bourbon or buy camshafts. Pick one.
Actually, right now it's build a studio.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But
Bourbon or big block.
Nick's got the right idea. Big block.
I really thought about doing like an EFI setup on it.
Don't bother. Use carburetors. It's too easy. There's too much stuff out there for a small block to be able to just do carburetors. Bolt them on, get them set up right, and it'll be for what you want to use it for.
Right.
Forget it. Just do that. It's too easy not to.
So what else?
Hot cam, a good set of carburetors on it, and drive the crap out of it. Just get the wiring right so your brake lights work.
Right.
The front heated leather seats out of a Lincoln Navigator.
Right. Yeah, okay, yeah. Get you some of that. Yeah.
Literally.
Get the air conditioning ones too.
No, he literally has heated leather seats from a Navigator in it.
Yeah.
Does it really?
And a 5-4 harness on the driver's seat.
That's hilarious. But make that thing work right. All you got to do is make them work right. I just finished doing. Well, you've seen it on my Facebook page, Kyle. You've seen it on my Facebook page. I've got that 55 Lincoln that we just finally, after 18 months, got it back. But that's a fun car. I mean, those old bangers are fun to drive. I took it. Matter of fact, I took it this afternoon. I drove down to the office and back in it. It was about 85 degrees outside, so it was hotter than hell, but with the top down and that kind of stuff, it was still fun. But those old bangers are just a lot of fun to drive, and you use them like a car because that's what they are.
My first car.
Buddies that have the. Go ahead, Roger.
Y'all remind. My first car was it was a 1956 Ford. It was 4-door. It was dark blue. It wasn't the fancy Crown Vic or anything like that. It's V6, 3-speed on a column. That's what I learned how to drive in, and just they're different. The older vehicles are just more. I don't know. It's just
they're simple.
It's just they're fun. Everybody look. No matter what shape
you're more
in, everybody
engaged.
looks.
Well,
you have to be careful.
I do a lot of. I've got a car from 1931 that is still a double clutch car. It has absolutely no synchros in the transmission, and you go out and drive that car, and it's a workout. I mean, the car weighs 6,000 pounds. Now, mind you, it's got a 7.6 liter straight 6 motor in it, and it's worked. And Kyle knows what I'm talking about my green car.
Yeah,
it's work to drive. That old Rolls Royce is hard to drive, man. I don't know how those poor schmoes ever did it in the day, but man, I'm telling you, that car is work to drive, but it's fun. It's
fun.
A blast.
You wouldn't want it.
And it gets a grand total of 4. Huh?
Wouldn't want it as a daily driver to have to go get groceries in every day.
Well, I got news for you. It only gets 4.5 miles to the gallon in town. It's got this weird carburetor on it. No kidding. The carburetor on the car looks like a toilet. It has a top on it and it goes down like this, and then it comes up and it goes back over into the intake manifold. Looks just like a toilet. And I refer to it as the way you flush gasoline down a toilet. This is what happens. And it gets 4.5 miles to the gallon in town. It's a real econo box.
I've had those cars before where you have a gas gauge and the speedometer and they go just like that right there.
Yeah, well, this one, the only thing that happens here is the speedometer stays here and the gas gauge keeps going like this. It's so freaking old, but it's
So-
fun. I mean, it's fun to drive.
So we're
I had
all
some old
clearly
guys-
very different because
Some old
my
guys
first
told me-
car was an 85 Honda Prelude.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh well.
I had some.
That could be. It could have been worse. It could have been a Prius.
We can't all be winners.
It was a manual.
Good
Okay.
boy.
The only thing power in that car was the sunroof,
Yep.
and it had
Oh, you didn't have
dual
power
lever
windows in it?
3-barrel side draft carburetors.
Yeah, buddy.
I had some guys tell me back in, I think it was the 30s, maybe early 40s, they said their car that their parents had was so weak that when they went to town once a month, when they got to a certain hill or two there, y'all know the hills down
You
here.
had to push. You had to push it. You had to push it up the hill.
No, they had to turn around and go up it in reverse because it was lower
Reverse-
gear.
Oh yeah. I've got a group of guys. That I'm gonna, and I plan to do this. At some point, I plan to do this. I'd like to go up to it's over in Europe. Is to ship the car over to Europe, and the area is called the Stelvio Pass. And the Stelvio Pass, they said the big thing is if you can go up the Stelvio in forward gears for the entire pass, you have done something.
Wow.
In an old car. So
Yeah,
my wife and I are
seen
going to go do
videos
the
of-
Stelvio of that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They do the
Yeah,
Silver
it's-
Ghost. They do a Silver Ghost
it's
tour
nuts.
that goes and does that. That would be. I think that'd be fun to try. Mine's a Phantom, but it would be fun to try it and just see if we can do it in that car. It would be fun to do.
Kyle, this live stream's taking a weird turn, huh?
It has.
What's going on with the live stream?
What's that?
What's going on? What are you seeing? I'm not seeing.
Oh, we
the live stream.
started with bourbon and blind samples, and now we're just cars and carburetors and.
Oh well. I hope they.
We have
like
nobody
it.
to talk to.
It's the only thing. Listen, I haven't been able to talk to anybody in so long. It's like I just need to say shit.
No,
I do, and I know Nick is fully on board with this. Nick wants to, and I do, put a nice turbo setup on the Chevy.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's
Like
a real Econo box right there. That's something
like
to
a
drive
solid
every
like
day.
90, 93 millimeter or something like that.
Yeah, get the one that has the bore that's about that big on it. When you hear it kick,
Just
when
right
you hear
in
it
the
spin
center of
up.
the grill. Just
Yeah,
right
exactly.
there.
Exactly.
It's got like a
big
3-inch
hole.
inlet.
I got a guy here that builds He builds drag cars like that.
It's not like there's not plenty of space under the hood for turbo and carb and
hell, you could do
intercooler and all that stuff.
I will say, yeah, there's a lot of room under the hood, and
you
a
could
lot
do
of people
twin.
don't
You could do one
realize-
on the left side, one on the right side, and have the intakes down where just below the turn signal buckets are. Do it right under there, and put two big holes in the grill underneath there. You could twin turbocharge that thing in a heartbeat.
So like
That would
twin
not be a problem.
76s.
Huh?
I will say one thing a lot of people don't realize is how heavy that car isn't.
Right.
It weighs nothing.
It weighed
3,200 pounds.
32 or
Yep.
3,300 pounds with me in it and a
Right.
full toolbox in the trunk.
Yeah, they're about 3,200 pound cars. They don't weigh a lot of. They don't have a lot of weight.
Well, I mean,
That's
once
why a
you
bunch
think
of guys
about it,
used to
like you
drag
think of the
race them.
doors, like you have the outer skin and the inner skin, and like that's it. Like there's
nothing else.
Everywhere
There's
else you
not
have
those,
sheet metal on the
like,
outside. Like there's
reinforcements.
nothing to it. Like
That's why so many guys used to drag race. They drag raced the stay wags because the stay wags could hook up because they had enough weight in the back over the rear axle that they could hook up and they would go like stink.
It does hook up really well, and it hooks up really. So first, I'll tell you a story. But first, Dan said, "How do you whiskey?" The first car was an '85 Monty SS and took the 305 out and out of the 350 HO. It was fun for about 10,000 miles until we blew up the engine.
Yeah, well,
You haven't done it
understand
right
that there
till
is a
you
red
blow the
line on the
bottom end
motor.
of it.
You know, there's a red line. There's a reason there's a red line. You don't go past it.
So
You haven't done it right until you
speaking
blow a
of
motor apart.
doing stupid things, my buddy with the 77 Vet, he found out, we were in high school at the time, he found out that if you smash the throttle in neutral and right about 2,500 RPMs or so, you drop it into gear, you could do a really awesome burnout.
Yeah.
How many
For
times?
about
Except
4 times.
so I tried the same thing, not realizing at the time that his transmission was mechanical. Mine was vacuum operated.
Bad plan.
So it didn't actually drop into gear until about 5,000 RPM. And
Yes.
that rear end was totally grenaded.
Toast. I don't care. You needed a Ford 9-inch in it to handle that.
So this was at like 1:30 in the morning. Like I said, this is a high
Call
school.
the tow truck.
And we were on the access road for the highway, the freeway. And I had to call my dad at the time, and he bought and sold muscle cars. So he had, truck and trailer and whatever else. And he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, I don't know, man. We were just driving down the highway, and all of a sudden the RPM started going up, and I don't know. And his response was, "Well, it's an old car."
You're a kid. You're a liar.
I'm sure
it's an old car that you neutral dropped at 5,000 RPM.
Yeah. Neutral dropped
the
at
original
$5,000
rear
and
end.
watch the pinion gear just go zing.
Just go.
Oops. Poof. Yeah, like a poof.
Turned to powder.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think
I
the
did that
biggest
when I
part
was
of
a
the rear end we
teenager.
found was about this big.
Yeah.
I believe that. I did that when I was a teenager in a 93 Mercury Grand Marquis with a 5-liter Cobra motor. We got it from my granddad, and it had some engine troubles, and his mechanic went to the junkyard and found another 5.0 in it to put in it. And it was 91, maybe? I don't remember.
Grand Marquis, nice car.
Yeah, it was burgundy with
That was a
burgundy
babe
leather
magnet.
interior.
That was a big
Burgundy
magnet.
carpet.
Oh yeah, you were big
Had
pimping.
the burgundy half Landau top
Oh, of course
with
it
the limo
did.
lights in between
Of
the front and
course.
rear doors.
Sure.
I was styling like a motherfucker.
Burgundy on burgundy
And,
on burgundy.
Oh yeah, buddy.
No, my
big
sister
pimping.
took out 32 feet of fence when she ran off the road one time and did nothing but crack the corner light. I didn't fucking care. I swear to God, that hood was like 1/4-inch plate steel.
Oh yeah.
I've never come across a heavier hood in my life. And like hanging out with friends, and we were all just goofing off, and they were just like, "I bet you won't do a burnout." And I tried brake torquing it, and that motor was tired. Right,
Yeah.
That car had 100,000+ miles on it, and the engine was probably about the same. And early 90s Ford products didn't really do all that well with 100,000+ miles.
Any Ford products with an automatic transmission never did well.
Well, at least it had the AOD, which was a pretty bulletproof transmission.
No.
And that's not really what
No.
let go.
No.
Under the very small amount of power that was being put through it, nothing really ever went wrong with the transmission.
It was a Grand
Dan
Marquis.
asked if it was a 5.0.
It was a Cobra motor, actually, because
Yeah, but you
when
gotta
my
remember-
grandfather took it to his mechanic
was
to
a
get another
4,000 pound
5-liter put
car.
in it, he went to the junkyard and he found a 5-liter. Didn't have any intakes on it or anything like that. And turns out, like, check the casting numbers on it, and it was out of a 93 Cobra
Yeah,
that was
well,
in the Grand Marquis.
I made the grave mistake of buying my daughter a 2001 5-liter Mustang as her like second car, which was probably the biggest mistake of my life. But
how many people did she run over in it?
oh no. She decided to pull out into traffic and have the entire front end of the car taken off.
Ooh.
That
She
was
said,
probably
"It's
the best way to go.
oh, but you know what? Once we fixed that car and put it back together, it would track straighter than it did when it was new. It was a great car when it was after it was wrecked.
Yeah, that sounds like a Mustang.
Yeah.
It's great after you wreck it.
Yeah, they're great after you completely take the front end off and have it completely realigned back to true manufacturer spec.
Kyle and Nick, I'm going to let y'all try this barrel proof rye.
Yeah, I'm all in on that.
That's the one I found on sale. I stopped at a liquor store in East Tennessee, and they were blowing them out for $19. That's what I'll try it for that. So
yeah,
for $20, absolutely.
127.6 proof
for $20.
Well, yeah, they were normally 43, and they're on clearance. And I decided
what is clearance at a liquor store? We don't have clearance at a liquor store in Florida. It's like, fuck you, you're going to pay full price. And
it doesn't
happen
happen
around small 20%. Towns and nobody shops there. People are like, please God, buy this. Please.
Yeah, please, somebody buy this. Please.
It's just
nobody in their right mind is going to buy 125 proof Tennessee liquor.
Yeah, and it's only, it's such a small bottle for that price too. I think
$375.
Yeah.
It looks like a 200, but it's a 375.
70.
Yeah, 375, and they want $40 or $50 for it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I haven't bought a ton of them. I just can't.
Yeah.
I am hard pressed.
I
am hard pressed to spend stupid money for bourbon that I know is worth less than half of what they're asking for.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That just irritates
me. My
me.
thing is so you do the math, and it's pretty easy math because a 375 is literally half of a 750.
Right.
If they want $45 for it, that's a $90 750.
Mm-hmm.
And this is better.
Yeah.
Right.
So
$50.
Yeah.
And
if that.
This is better.
Like 45, 50. Yeah. What do you got?
Oh. See, I'm with
barrel.
you, Nick. I'm 100% with you on that Old Forester stuff. What is the deal?
It's like,
I don't understand
this.
why nobody thinks Old Forester is good stuff. I love that.
Old Forester is fantastic.
It really
For the
is.
Cooper's Craft 100 proof, this stuff is unreal.
Where is
and
that?
it's
Who
not
makes
expensive.
It's a Brown Forman product.
Yeah.
Have y'all had is it Old Forester Signature? It's 100 proof, I believe.
Yeah, I passed on a bottle of it today. I'd rather spend the money for almost the same money I buy 1920 because I like the higher proof stuff.
Right.
Whoa, where are you buying 1920 from?
Oh, 1920 is all over the place down here.
I mean, we have a lot of it, but it's all about $60-65.
Yeah,
it's $45 to $50 a bottle down here.
Wow, this one was 65.
What are you getting for it, Roger?
This here I gave like 63 plus tax.
Did you really?
That's
$45. It's the one unbelievable deal that we have in Florida.
That's
is
great.
1920.
But we do have the Old Forester Signature is like $20 or $25 here.
Right.
It's cheap.
So
yeah.
For us at a $40, 3 times the price difference. That 100,
I like it.
That 100 proof is like a baby 1920. It really is.
Yeah, but see, the problem is I like the higher horsepower. I like the higher horsepower stuff. I mean, if it's not bottle and bond is fine, but if I can find a 107, 110, 115, I'd rather have that because it genuinely has better flavor.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like
I usually gravitate to that 100 to 115 proof area.
Yep.
I like stuff that's 130, 140 proof, but
I do too.
It's not an everyday drink for me.
What I do is I do the warm up. I'll do like some Old Forester, or I'll do a barrel proof, or I'll do a single barrel or whatever, and then have something that's like craziness. that Jack Daniels craziness stuff. The first time I ever made that Jack Daniels taste good was the fact that I started off with 1.5 ounces of Old Forester's 1920 and then drank that after I got through the neck pour on it. And it was like, gosh, you know what? This really isn't as bad as I thought it was. This is really good liquor.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
I'd
do you
say
remember? Go ahead.
The Old Forester single barrel at 90 proof has way more flavor than I would ever expect out of a 90 proof bottle.
I agree with you. It tastes like something that's at least a bottle and bond or then some.
Which one was that?
The Old Forester single barrel.
Single barrel.
I haven't tried that
90
yet.
proof stuff.
I think didn't your liquor store there close to the house, your house, Kyle, get some of that? Didn't he have some?
He might have.
Okay,
Bill?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
but I will say that I think the single barrels now are when you buy a barrel, you can either choose 100 proof or barrel strength. So no, I don't think they're doing 90 proof anymore.
Interesting.
Is that gone?
I think so. I think they're all going to 100 proof.
Yeah, but if it was a barrel proof, that'd have to be 120 plus, wouldn't it?
Probably.
See, that's when they start having some. It's funny because I had been a Scotch drinker for a long time, and then I've converted over to bourbon, and I'm finding that the higher proof stuff has got so much more flavor to it.
It really does.
Oh, it's amazing. And people
like,
go,
I'll say I don't know of another
stuff?
bourbon that has as much flavor as the Elijah Craig barrel proof.
I agree.
I mean, you just want to talk about straight flavor bomb.
Oh, you're not kidding.
That's
Yep. You're 100%.
Is anybody still watching us on YouTube?
Yeah, like 2 people. No, 4.
Hey guys.
God bless. Hey guys. Yo.
Richie Z, Ryan Parker, and Dan from How Do You Whiskey.
It's only 10
o'clock
talking.
Yeah. We're just in here talking some shit and y'all are just hanging in tight.
We're talking
about
drugs.
Ryan said the Old Foresters are 130 to 135 is what they're advertising. I think I heard that now that you say that. But yeah. So they're going to come out 130 to 135, give or take.
That's good. That's
I'm excited about that.
Stuff.
If you can imagine 1920 at 135 proof,
I'm in.
All in.
I'm all in. You betcha.
If I
wouldn't
can
be
get
buying anything else
at 130 proof, Nick would be drunk.
When is Heaven? My big question is, when is Heaven Hill going to put out something that actually has some real kick to it? Have you found anything? Yeah, but I hate to say this, but I can't get on board with that yet. I just don't find the flavor in it.
Kyle, you should send him some B519.
Yeah.
Is that what it's going to take? Okay. Maybe it does. I haven't found any B519 down here yet.
It's probably my favorite Elijah Craig barrel proof batch.
You like it?
Because B519 was really good. I've heard that a lot of people say C919 is really good too.
It is. Everything from last year was awesome.
Yeah, the 19 Elijah Craig barrel proofs are really strong. I've heard mixed reviews on A120.
I'm not a fan.
I know that Kyle's not a fan. I've seen a couple of channels say that they swoon over it and love it.
Yeah.
But people that know my flavor wheel, my flavor profile, basically say I trust that if they say they don't like it, then I'm not going to.
You can try it when you come over if you like it. I have an extra bottle.
Yeah.
I've just been I was disappointed with the Elijah Craig that I've had.
Was it the barrel proof or just the regular Elijah Craig?
The first year was the Elijah Craig regular, and then I had a barrel proof. And it was like, okay, well, yeah, it's okay. I've got other things that I'd rather drink.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of other things that I'd rather drink.
Well, good news. There are a lot of other things that you can drink.
Well, now, mind you, I like the Heaven Hill. I like the Heaven Hill bottle and bond. I like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is, I don't want to say it's beginner scotch, but it's beginner scotch. Listen to me. It's beginner's barrel proof stuff, but it's not bad.
Yeah, Roger's got the good shit.
Yeah, that old Heaven Hill. There you go.
And y'all were talking about the Dusties earlier. I have found more Dusties when a small liquor store has a change of ownership and the new owner comes in and cleans out the back room. That's happened to me more than once. So, well, 3 times actually. So
I believe
just keep going in. I had a question.
I believe
for
that
Kyle.
Rogers just so happens to be the guy that walks in like the day or two after it opens up under new ownership. He just is magically attracted to this liquor store that's changed owners.
Like, here we go. We got the right
bottle.
stuff.
This bottle here, I go in this liquor store in Lewisburg all the time. Knew the owners. I'd always ask them, "Hey, you got anything getting in the back?" No. Okay, so they sell the place. I go in a week after, and the spot where I forgot what was in the spot normally, but this bottle is sitting there for $19.99.
Is it
I've
a
never
glass
seen
bottle?
it before.
Is there
Plastic bottle. It's dust all over it. And my son, I almost threw my back out. It's on the bottom shelf. I almost threw my back out grabbing for it. And I'm like, where did this come from? And so, yeah, I mean, $20. Kyle's got one I found. I put a lot of miles on, riding around looking. You got to stop at all of them. It's fun. But you never, if I find something, I probably stopped at 20 or 30 stores. So
if Roger
you don't
could
have 20
write
or 30
off his
stores
mileage,
within a 50-mile radius of here.
Man, I've driven the whole state of Tennessee. Alabama can't find anything because of the ABC.
It's all state controlled.
Yeah, we have
Kentucky,
the ABC problem here in Florida too with Wellers.
Right, and Kentucky. Everybody in Kentucky from 5 years old up drinks, so there's nothing left on the shelf.
Yeah,
there, so.
Yeah, it's pretty much done.
If Roger could write off the mileage that he puts on his cars and trucks driving around for bourbon, he'd never pay in for any sort of taxes of any kind ever again.
My mom always wanted to go to Reelfoot Lake, so it was last year.
I love Reelfoot Lake.
Yeah, we're driving through Camden, and I see this liquor store, and she sees me. She said, "Well, pull in there. You're gonna have a fit if you don't." I'm like, "Okay." There was 9 Charter 101 sitting on the shelf. Yeah,
9 of them.
9 of them. I got Kyle. You ended up with 1, I think.
Yeah,
and
I
Donnie,
think I got 1.
I drank about 4, and I've got 2 or 3 left. So, but
hey, I'm making a quick run. I'll be right back.
All right.
But Kyle, I got a question. Did you ever get the other bottle of Weller Foolproof? I can't talk.
What other?
You had the first bottle. You had a 1 bottle of Weller Foolproof that I tried.
Yeah.
Did you get a second bottle?
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking how did it compare to that first bottle? Because that first bottle was amazing.
I haven't opened it yet, actually.
Okay. Yeah, just let us know, because that's. I've heard people say they didn't like it. You have a what?
Huh?
You have a few bottles?
I didn't say that.
He has a few bottles, Roger.
Okay.
I know because he got one of mine because I decided I wanted the Eagle Rare instead of that. So
yeah,
he bought that Weller Foolproof off of me.
I was just curious to see how it compared to the first.
I got another one here that I need to open. So, yeah.
Yeah, try that and let us know.
When we get that studio built,
if you open a Foolproof and don't send me a sample, I'm going to be pissed.
I can make that happen.
I knew you could. I knew if I said that, you'd do that. I just want to try it. I love Weller's products. I just love
I really wanted to hate the Foolproof. I was like, it's just like 107, but 3% higher, and I was like, whatever. And I got a couple, and I was like, all right. I tasted it, and I was like, oh shit, that's good.
Is it that much better than 107?
It's a totally different. it's much closer to William LaRue Weller, at least the barrel I have.
Are you serious?
It was much closer to
You go,
William
Chip.
LaRue Weller than it was.
Oh, I got a
Weller.
bunch of those. Here, wait a minute. Here, let me show you. Hold on.
So-
I happen
No,
to be
that's
sitting
a
where the
handle.
stash is. Here's the stash. We've got the stash. This is just the stuff to get me through the coronavirus. So we've
Like the
got
Heaven
plenty.
Hill on the right.
Huh? Yeah, there's a
I haven't
Heaven
tried
Hill
the
over
Heaven Hill.
here.
I
There's
haven't
some
tried
Eagle
that.
Rares. There's look. We've got a bunch of EH Taylors.
What's that
We
bottle in the
got-
very back hiding over there?
Look at all the way back. I will go all the way back. Those are all Weller Special Reserves and 12.
What's that bottle on the right?
On the right,
In the very back,
In the very back, hiding
bottle on
behind the
right.
EH Taylor.
there's
The-
a Booker's.
There's a Booker's.
behind
I've
the
got a
EH
Booker's
Taylor.
back there. That's a barbecue. I've got 4 bottles of a barrel pick that we did from Knob Creek that we did for our Rotary Club this year. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottles of Weller 107. There's 4 bottles of 12-year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles of Special Reserve here. I haven't held. Oh, well, there's the Fosters. Oh, I know what you're looking at. The Old Foresters. Is that what one you're thinking of?
The very back.
The very back. It almost looks like
These
a
are-
wine bottle.
Those are bottles of wine.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
want to worry about those. Those are.
It was a
bottles of
wine bottle.
That is a wine bottle. Yeah, but it's a good one. But it's a wine bottle. See, and then we have all the wines down here. So
Oh,
yeah, I drink too much.
You drink almost enough, sir. Don't.
Yeah,
don't
well,
lie.
maybe. And well, the problem is I've got at this point right now that's just the back stock. Then I've got other stuff I've got all the stuff that I've got open downstairs. But I've got, I don't know, 23 bottles I think that are open right now. But it's stuff that I'm, and like I say, I try not to open stuff that I like until I have 2 of them at least.
Right. Oh, I know that
And,
feeling.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get caught short. That sounds stupid, but but I don't want to get
Oh, well,
caught
I
short.
grabbed that handle of Special Reserve in, what was that, Mississippi or Louisiana, Kyle?
one of those 2, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
Was
think
it
was
a
like 30 bucks.
175 or was it a 750?
It was a 175
Yeah.
It was like
for like
$32 or
33. It
something.
was like 33 bucks.
Oh, are you kidding? That's a.
I've only seen those a couple times.
The
I
750
was out-
for like $18.
We
Yeah.
were out.
I-
We were out in Lake Tahoe, and I walked into a liquor store, and the guy had 4 bottles of 12-year, 6 bottles of Special Reserve with 2 of the big handles in it, 2 of the 175s, and 4 bottles of Old Weller Antique. And I looked at him. The guy was drunk. The guy that owned the store was drunk because he has a bar in his store. And I said, "Hey, I'll give you $1,000 for everything that says Weller on it." And he went, "Okay." I said, "No shit, really?" He said, "Okay." I said, "Here's my American Express." I said, I came back to pick it up because I didn't have a way to get it home. I came back to pick it up. And he says, "You know what? My wife got mad at me because I didn't charge you tax." I went, "Really? You didn't charge me tax? Oh, well, sucks to be you." I said, if I need to pay the tax, I will." He says, "Oh, no, fuck it. Don't worry about it. Come here, have a drink." Well, okay,
That's awesome.
So
fine.
I grabbed that handle of Weller Special Reserve, and then I got a handle of Buffalo Trace that I think I got for like 40 or 43 bucks.
If you can buy them for under 50, that's a good deal.
The
Yeah.
Southern Mississippi
Oh,
and like
stick that
Louisiana and
away.
stuff like it's
You're a rat.
stuff like that is dirt cheap.
Let's get a funny story on that.
I
too.
got the handle of Buffalo Trace when we were in Kentucky.
Under 50 bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
It
They're
was
53
retail.
down there.
That was-
My regular price down here on a handle is 53 bucks. And that's
It's just
and
still
that's,
not
that's
bad.
the one. No, it's not. And that's a go-to. That is an absolute go-to. I like it to sip it. I like it to mix it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Weller SR and Buffalo Trace are 2
Yep.
super solid, reasonably priced bourbons.
Yep. And they're
When they're
the
at retail.
Yeah, when they're at the retail. if you have to pay up for them, I don't think I'd ever pay up again for special reserve. I would pay up for 12-year, and I would certainly pay up for 107 just because I really like both of those.
Like
That seems to be the hardest to find.
comfortable with special reserve up to like $50-$55 for a 750.
Yes.
Anything over that, I'm like, once you crest that $60 mark, like I start to get a lot less comfortable with it.
I'm with you. I agree.
And same thing with Buffalo Trace. I'm totally comfortable with Buffalo Trace up to $60.
What's up, Bubba?
Yeah.
You know,
for the big bottles.
Well, I mean, even for the 750, because you can't find the handles.
For Buffalo Trace, it's $23 a bottle down here.
No, and at retail it should be $25, but most places are 45 plus.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And I'm missing the boat because I think the most I've ever paid for it was $29 a bottle for the 750s.
I saw somebody post on one of the bourbon groups that I'm in a 750 of Buffalo Trace. I think it was like $90 at the store that he was in. Yeah.
Hard pass.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen Weller SR 750s posted up at liquor stores for over $120 a bottle.
Oh, jeez.
I was like,
crazy.
So that's an absolute fucking no.
That's a no. That's a big no. What are they?
Like, it's good. It's not 3 digits good.
No. What are they doing for E.H. Taylor? Because I finally found a guy that I can get E.H. Taylor single barrel and small batch for in the 60s, in the $65 range.
Small batch is usually about.
It's weird because he prices small batch and single barrel at the same price.
It's weird.
I thought it was too, but I mean, I don't mind. I like single barrel and I like small batch. I like them both.
Now that's a good price for the single barrel, but
I thought it was a killer price for the single barrel. A little expensive for the small batch, but you know what? I'm okay with that. Hey, listen,
it's like he's sacrificing the price on the single barrel, but making it up on the small batch.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might be right.
Because what the small batch that I've got was like $45.
Yep. What were you paying for? What were you paying for a single barrel?
I don't have a single barrel. I don't know. I haven't actually seen a single barrel in the stores I've been in.
70,
75
plus tax.
It was $65 here. He charged me the same price for both. $65. And I'm not sure if he realized what he had done. I love the guy. He's a great guy. And I mean, he ran out to my car because he had a Four Roses single barrel that he wanted me to have. And he said, "Oh, you need to have this." He said, "I forgot this was back there." And he sold it.
You need to have this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like
you put so much effort into this. It would be rude of me to say no.
I'm a sucker. I have a great big S across my forehead that says, "This guy's a sucker. I'm going to sell him everything." But he does. I mean, Blanton's is hard to find in Florida, and he sells me Blanton's for less than $100 a bottle. So I'm not going to bitch.
I'm 100% comfortable with Blanton's up to like $75 or $80.
Yeah, see, and I'm paying $95, but I'm good with that.
Right, and as long as you're good with it, that's all that matters.
That's true.
You know,
that's true with anything.
Like,
there's people that are comfortable paying, $600 for LaRue Weller, or $500 for Stag.
I had a guy. The guy today had a George Stag, and he wanted $800 for it, and I went, "No, I'm going to pass. That's like a really hard pass for me. Thank you very much." He had Stag Junior for $199. I went, "No, I'm not going to do that either. Thank you. Have a nice day."
It's so disheartening to walk in the store and see something on the shelf and go back there and it's like 5 times what it's supposed to cost.
Yeah,
exactly. It pisses me off. I just can't.
One of the liquor stores in town that we have has just regular Bookers, nothing special, for like $95.
That's crazy.
I bet I know where that's at.
It's $60 a bottle
Locker.
on a good day.
South side of town,
yeah. Liquor Locker.
Yeah.
And you can go over to
see-
Bill's and Booker's on the shelf for the retail 69 or 73, whatever
Right.
it is.
I get to
Right.
go in a lot of liquor stores and I see like the small batch E.H. Taylor, you know, golly, I've got one here I gave $39.99 for. It's a
Oh
2016.
man, that's
But
a dream.
most of them are, 42, 45. But
I'm good with that. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
But you see some of them, they'll have it $59.99 and they'll be there next time you go in.
Right.
So I don't
Well,
know.
that's like the guy. That's like the guy that won $119 a bottle for Blanton's. He said, "Oh, I'll sell it by the weekend." I'll bet you I go in there next week and it's still sitting on the freaking shelf.
Yeah,
I had the same
and at
thing
that
happen
point,
to
I would
me.
bring up to him and be like, "How'd the weekend go?" 'Cause
Yeah, exactly. And you know what?
based on that,
Nick,
I
that's
bet it
my
didn't go all
plan.
that well.
That's my plan. I guess it wasn't a good weekend, and this is like
Right. And
drinkers' weekend.
sure, and like, don't get me wrong, like I'm all for a lot of these liquor store owners to make money.
Yes,
Like I'm not
I am
asking
too.
for you to sell it to me at cost. I don't want
Right.
that. I want everybody to make their fair share. You've got a lot of
Absolutely.
overhead.
But
You know,
don't
you've
hose
got
it.
a couple $1 million in inventory, probably, depending on what you
Yeah.
carry, how big your store is. You know, I don't want you to like stress. Like, I'm not here to try and make you lose money on selling me this bottle.
Right.
Like, don't fuck me either.
Exactly.
And like, depending on what the
Right.
bottle is, like, I don't mind paying a premium on it. But
Right.
like you said,
I'm
like,
don't
not
make it
gonna bitch
crazy.
because somebody's gonna get a couple of extra bucks. Listen, for
Sure.
an extra $10 or $15, I'm good with that.
Right.
Okay.
I
get
am
it.
totally fine with a 10 to 15% over retail for most
Yep.
bottles. I'm
Yep.
fine with that. That doesn't bother
Yep.
me.
Like, if I could find, Stag or William Weller, something like that, for like even $200,
Yeah.
I would pick
Oh,
it
I'm
up.
in.
But I'm not
But
paying you
$800
$400 for it.
Mm-mm.
$800? Are you freaking
Right.
kidding
Nope.
me?
Hard
To go
pass.
8 times retail?
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. That's stupid.
What is the 10 years? The Van Winkle. What is that? Rip?
I can't even find that here.
I
Was it
was in
old
Arkansas.
Rip, I think it is.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that. I was in
old Rip-
Arkansas.
Rip Van Winkle.
Little
Yeah.
hole in the wall out in the middle of Arkansas, middle of nowhere. So I stop in, of course, and walk in. There's nothing in there. But up on the top, there's that bottle. I'm like, what do you have on that bottle? It's like $7.99, I believe.
No.
Okay. Thanks for letting me look at it. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, have a nice
But-
day.
But it was
Like,
you never know.
79?
You're 79.
Even like-
okay.
Even like 179, like that's high, but
I'd buy that.
you know, I
I'd buy
wouldn't
that.
I wouldn't like flip out
For what?
for old Rip
Van Winkle.
Yeah.
10-year.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
if
I
I
said,
saw it, if I walked in the store and they had it at $179, I'd probably buy it.
Yeah, I would too.
right, but
I'm not saying it may be worth that much, but it's one of those things like,
you don't come across it often enough to really like
right.
be like,
Now,
It's
if I
not
had,
going to be.
if I had
It's not
three or
going to
four
be
of them
your
in the
daily
stash,
drinker
then,
either.
yeah, I could
No,
pass
right.
up on it.
right.
You know,
No,
my
it-
daily drinkers. I like to keep my daily drinkers at like $60 or less.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
that's
most
why.
of
That's
my
why the
daily
Old
drinkers
Forester. That's
are
why I've been
notably
drinking
under
so much
60
Old
bucks.
Forester.
Dan's opening a new bottle.
Uh-oh.
Hey, go Dan.
I said I would if you guys joined me.
An Eagle Rare.
Talking about Eagle Rare, I just picked this one up. I'm excited for it because I picked
How much?
it as part of the pick at least.
Are you in on that pick?
Can't get it open.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Jeez, come on, man.
How
The
many
last
picks have you
Eagle
been on
Rare
the
bottle I
strip?
opened,
Like
I struggled with it too. I had to get like a knife out of the kitchen cabinet. And
Go get.
I got a
knife.
hammer
It'll be
drill
all
if you need it.
hammer drill.
That's where these
The
blisters
pressure
came from.
to it, man.
Dan, how many picks have you been on?
4.
What did you think of Buffalo Trace?
He can't hear you. He doesn't have his earphones in.
Buffalo Trace. I wasn't on a Buffalo Trace pick, but
Oh, I thought you went on the
ones
Eagle
that
Rare
we
pick.
did for the club. They were okay. So actually, no, wrong. The Weller Foolproof that I just had, that we did a pick of with a collaboration with a liquor store. I wasn't a part of it, but it's really good. So we also have a Stag Junior pick coming,
Nice.
which
That's
you'll see in the chat.
Yeah, the Buffalo Trace is probably one of the worst barrel programs I've been on.
They're not good.
Yeah.
We did the Knob Creek thing last year, and we're looking at doing a Heaven Hill, and Heaven Hill is only allowing us to do an Elijah Craig pick.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Because we're going to do that was what we're supposed to do in May, and it's not going to happen now. It's going to be like July.
I will say Heaven Hill was probably my favorite pick that I've been on.
Has it?
Knob Creek would be second, and then Buffalo Trace was just.
Knob Creek was great. I'm telling you, what they ended up giving us was rock star quality.
Yeah. Oh no, our picks were awesome. And the picks that we got from Buffalo Trace were good, but you know, they don't even give you freaking glassware at Buffalo Trace. Like what?
Yeah, they're super stingy. Everything is so.
We wanted to go back into a barrel for tasting after everyone, you know, sampled out of the little glass, and they're like, "Well, you know, I guess I could give you a little more," and it's like, don't even start with me, like.
Yeah, really.
Kyle, wait till you get that Peerless picks that you put in on.
Yeah.
You're gonna do justice with that little sign behind your head there.
Were they good?
They're amazing. They're like, I mean, I have a pick that I bought at the distillery that's really amazing. But we got to, so when we went to the distillery, because we're having complications, because we're the first any store, club, anything in Illinois to receive a pick from Peerless, and they didn't have a PO for like a pick. So like there's been so much hesitation. Finally, it's coming any day now. And we're really excited because it's been a
What
long.
did they do for you for the keg?
What's that?
What did they do for you for the keg? What was the total cost of the keg?
All right, guys, I'm actually heading out.
Nick, good to see you, buddy.
See you guys.
See you,
Hey,
Nick.
bud.
Go with Chip.
Cheers.
See you, Roger.
Talk to you. See ya.
Yeah. So with the pick, I mean, we did a whole bunch of picks.
Right.
So we had a whole bunch of different whiskeys and bourbons. I think there was over 30 that we got to sample and try in different barrels. And then at the very last minute, they brought out what they called a reject barrel. So the reject barrel was half full, as they said. It's more like three quarters, but it had a leak in it. So they wanted to get rid of it before it leaked out anymore. And they said, if you guys want it, we'll throw this one in. We tried it unanimously amongst 5 people. We're like, yes, let's take it no matter what. So because it was a smaller barrel, we called it baby. So the whole theme we had one bourbon, one rye. They were both Star Wars themed because Star Wars just came out at that time. That's how long ago this pick happened. And then we called that one Baby Yoda. And they're coming out in 200 milliliter bottles. We have just over 300.
200 milliliters?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's like 100.
It's that amazing.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a 60 bottle. Basically, it's a 60 bottle barrel.
Yes.
Of a 750s. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. And they took good care of you for that?
Yeah. So there's some kind of, they have a lot of history in Chicago. Peerless. They have a lot of history in Chicago. So we are the first ones to get a pick from Illinois. So that's exciting. So like I don't know, they have a lot of, we've been back and forth. I guess like our admins have been to Peerless a few times, kind of dropped names, been advocates for Peerless. So they took us on as like, hey, all or nothing. Let's go with the Adventurers Club.
You're our pals.
Yeah. And we went there. We got VIP treatment when we went there.
Really?
They even brought out our picks because we were hanging out. We were hanging out with Dixon Dedman for a trip, and we went to his inn. And in doing so, we asked like, hey, can we get? So they gave us some sample bottles from our picks. and they gave it
Really?
to just to take with us. Yeah, and just
Cool.
a sample with Dixon.
How many are you going to get like a normal on your 750s? Are you going to get like 125 out of the 750s?
Yeah. So the only way to get those, you had to buy a full set
Right.
at first. So everybody put in for the full set. You buy a full set, you could buy as many Baby Yodas as you want, as long as inventory supply.
Yeah.
Like I put in for 2 sets and 6 Baby Yodas.
Cool. Were they are they over 10 grand a keg?
I don't know the price of the keg, but I think so. I mean,
Are
it was.
they? Okay.
I mean, Kyle remembers the prices.
Kyle, do you remember what the price was? Are they 10,000 a keg?
On what?
The Peerless?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. The reason I say we're starting to do barrel picks we have a Rotary Club. It sounds crazy, but we do a Rotary Club deal, and we've done 2 barrel picks. The next time around, we're doing another one at theoretically we're doing it at Heaven Hill, but I could convince them to do something else if we could get something else that's cool. Because I'm not, no offense, but I'm not a huge. Am I wrong in the fact that I should not be a huge fan of Elijah Craig barrel picks? Are they like really that great?
They definitely can be.
Yeah, because I mean, are they going to be at that 120 level as far as proof goes? And are we going to be able to create about 125 to 150 bottles out of it?
No, they'll be at 94 proof, so you'll get closer to like 200 bottles out of it.
200 bottles. Yeah, that's
180, 200.
There's no way to do anything where they get the higher proof stuff.
We've tried. Rumor has it that they're going to start doing barrel proof Elijah Craig picks, but who knows when that'll.
See, that's why we went with Knob Creek, is because they'd let us do a barrel proof, and it came out at 121 plus.
Knob Creek is.
We got 138 bottles out of it.
I love Knob Creek, so I have a shit ton of Knob Creek. I actually opened up a 15 last night for Mash and Drum to hang out with him, and phenomenal.
That's great stuff. I've got 9 bottles. I've got 9 bottles of like 128 out of this pick that we got, and I'm telling you what, the shit's rock star stuff.
Yeah,
it is. It is like I've never tasted Knob Creek that tasted like that ever.
Yeah. Our club has never done a Knob Creek pick. Hopefully, maybe sometime soon, but we've done a lot of other stuff here in Illinois.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show you some of the labels. So we got Black Cherry Tart, the villain pick. So it's all Star Wars themed.
Yeah.
And then we have the Black Cow Heroes pick.
How are we going to get some of this stuff? Can you ship me some stuff?
And there's the Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. I gotta have a bottle of Baby Yoda. Can you get me a Baby Yoda?
Kyle's a member of the club.
Kyle, you gotta get me. He just left. Where'd he go? Hold on. I'll show you what I was talking about.
I think he sneezed and knocked him offline.
Yeah, must have. Here's the Knob Creek stuff that we found. This was the stuff from this year.
That's really neat. I like that label. I never seen that label.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
We did the labels.
Why is it unique?
Well, we did a label for our wild game dinner. We've had 37 years of this wild game dinner, and we asked them, can we do a unique? We actually had the labels printed.
Okay.
And they said, we'll put them on our bottles. We ended up having to put this because they screwed up this label, the bottom label. They screwed it up, so we had to reattach the new labels that we needed for our wild game dinner because they screwed it up. But we just said, hey, this is the coolest thing we've ever seen in our lives. This is a great deal.
You have extra bottles there?
And it's all the real. I mean, it's no kidding.
Real deal.
It's the real deal. But see, the deal is with our Rotary Club, we put the Rotary Club emblem on the other side, which made it really, really unique. But it has the stag on it for our wild game dinner insignia.
Well, you said you have 9 bottles?
Well, I have 5 left.
Let me know if you want to trade one.
All right, sure, we can do that.
I'm sorry I showed up late to this live, but what's your name?
I'm Chip Wright.
Chip, nice to meet you, buddy. I'm Dan,
too, pal.
as you see.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a drinker, not a trader for the most part.
Yeah.
Because I'm like most of the people that do what you and I do is we drink it.
Yeah. Oh,
I know it's terrible. It's bad.
I trade up, right? So there's all these whiskey sites and whatnots, and I trade so I'll do it because if somebody's looking for this bottle, but I want that bottle and it's an even Steven,
Yeah.
I'll trade for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't look to make money on it. That's not my thing. I mean,
No, mine either.
I've sent him so much stuff that just under MSRP. I don't care. I want you to enjoy it. I want you put it on live and then enjoy it with everybody.
I buy it because I want to drink it. That's why I buy it. I know there's a bunch of guys out there that flip and a lot of guys out there that do all that kind of stuff, but I'm not in the business of doing that. I'll work something out with you on the Knob Creek. You figure out what you want to do. I'm a patron of the deal with Blind Bourbon. So
nice.
You can get in touch with me. Kyle can always get in touch with me.
Yeah.
We can do that. We'll figure something out with this.
What state?
I'll guarantee you, you will. This shit is like, oh my gosh. This is oh my gosh.
So
what did it turn out to?
How many years is it?
It's like 15 years.
Yeah.
Let me see here. 2005, bottled in 2019, so it's 14 year. And it is 120 plus, I guess. I can't read it anymore.
Yeah, it's 120. That's what it should be.
Yeah, 120. Yeah, it's at 120.
Yeah. I got
almost 15 year.
I got a 14-year Binny's pick, if you're familiar with Binny's in Illinois. That's like the heartbeat of my Knob Creek.
Right.
So I got a few of those because I went into a liquor store, Binny's out. I heard that there's the last store that had it. And I went out there, it's in the middle of nowhere. And I go up there and they had it on the shelf. And there's no sign that says one per customer. Like every other Binny's has it or they have it in their special area.
Right.
Located area. So I walk up and I'm like, doop, 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 doop. So I took all 5.
Of course.
Up to the counter and they're like, this is one per customer. I'm like, show me where it says that. And they couldn't tell me. They're like, okay, you can. I mean, you still have them. Why do you still have them? This came out like a month and a half ago. It's been sold out everywhere for half a month. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So they just sold them to me.
Yeah. Contact me. We'll do a swap and we'll do that.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to do that all the time.
This one turned out great. This turned out to be a really good bottle.
Oh, it sounds like. I mean, I'll try everything twice, right?
Yep, me too.
What's your email?
Beach, BEACH, M as in Mary, K as in Kellogg, the number 4 at yahoo.com. Shoot me an email in the morning and I'll figure out, we'll get it together so we can do that.
Okay. I'll shoot it to you now just so.
Yeah, I won't look at it till tomorrow.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's late.
I've been on a live with Mash and Drum doing a football draft for the entire football draft. So
Who was first pick?
What's my first pick?
No, who was there first? Who was the draft's first pick?
It was a quarterback.
Do you go to Philly?
Cincinnati chose the quarterback that was everybody knew they were going to grab him. So I can't remember his name. I'm not a big college buff, but
I'm not either. I'm not much of a football buff. I'm just always curious when it comes down to what's going on. I quit watching the NFL.
Didn't even have a pick in the first draft, so
yeah. I quit watching NFL a couple of years ago because of the obvious political reasons, but
yeah,
I haven't been paying much attention anymore, sadly. But yeah, that'll be a good. You'll like this. This Knob Creek is different from anything I've ever had.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. We
I just
well
like
our,
the label's different. That'd be like if I bring that to the club and like they'll be like, what can just because of the the label just it does
like
so
what the hell is this?
it's so weird because I mean if you follow secondary at all, you see like these new riff picks and they name it after like Riff James and this, that, and the other,
Right.
and it sells for so much money because of a label. And it's like, why? Like,
are you freaking kidding me?
it's insane. It blows my mind. It just does.
Yeah.
Is Kyle coming back? I didn't think he was done.
I guess he was. Must have
No,
been
he
it.
didn't say he
I'm
would've
about
said
done
bye.
too. I've been on since late, and
Yeah.
I've actually got to get up and like go to the living room tomorrow morning
Oh,
so I can go to work.
I hear you. My office is in the kitchen because my wife has my office.
Yeah.
So
Oh, good.
she's on
My office.
she's on the phone
My
more
office
than I
is
am.
my lounge chair and the television.
Yeah, I got 2 meetings with machines tomorrow, so
Oh, great.
nothing crazy.
Yeah. Well, my earbuds are dying too. Dan, contact me. We'll get this stuff done.
I sent you an email. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, pal. Talk
Enjoy
to you.
your evening. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Night.